It's all original. 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 You never seen it like this. I got something you don't wanna miss. The best part, I got you on the list. All access, pass on the wrist. So hands up, we gonna celebrate. First look, you do a double take. All day, every day, first place, trophy case. It's about to change the game. It's all original. It's all what? It's all original. It's all what? It's all original. It's all what? It's all original. Styling like a trend. On style, on style. It's original. On style. On style. Like a trend. Setter. There's good, then there's gray. Then there's the bar, it just raised. Cloud 9 on a new plane. Got the star on the seat with your name. Take off, let me see you elevate. Time flies when you're swinging like a heavyweight. Another day and we just trying to make a way now. The hatred growing stronger every single day now. I hear these rappers, they ain't trying to talk about it, they ain't trying to get involved, and they would rather catch a wave now. But how cool is the gunplay when the strays will hit the playground, eh? But never mind about that, cause once you make it out, you think this world just don't affect you anymore. Until somebody from your past come back to settle the score. Like Tupac on September 7th, man, in this fight against
Alrighty, I know the music is good because I myself have been bopping to it. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lidoma Pubg Mobile Invitational Twist. My name is Crownscast and I will be taking you through the whole thing here. Matter of fact, I am the pilot for today as I'll be flying you across the different maps and the game modes that we are going to be having today. This tournament is brought to you by Lidoma Pubg Mobile, Lidoma.com, and we will be looking, this is an invitational twist between three regions. It's going to be the Europe region, the Middle East region, and the Africa region being mixed together. But before we head into the final twist, we have to scrutinize, and not scrutinize actually, we have to pick out those teams from each different regions that will be raising the flag and representing each regions in the finals of this event. And to do that, we're gonna have to play each region separately. So we're gonna be starting things over. Or today, I will be bringing live to you the Europe region, where we're gonna be seeing 22 teams, I believe, in the Europe region going all and out. Maybe 20 teams actually in Europe going all and out to show us who the top 9 teams will be that will be heading straight into the finals. The top 9 teams from today and tomorrow's games would determine which 9 teams will be going straight into the finals to meet yet the remaining 9 teams coming from the other region, which is going to be the Middle East and the African region. Without further ado, let's go you through, or let us run you through the teams that will be participating in today's event. Participating teams for today would be the Game Lords, Dagestan 77, Nexus Gaming, Konina Power, Kasik, ARR Esport, the Muerte, Sly Machines, the Unicorns of Love, Major Pride, Gaimin Gladiators, Team Doom, the side air of Sly Europe, Shockwave, Dark Project, GQ Team, Mad Bulls, Team Codex, Excuse Me, and Alpha 7. The other time we did see Team Codex winning the last tournament that was held and hosted by Lidoma Pubg Mobile. So we will be looking forward to seeing how well, or if they will be able to continue with that consistency going into today's games. That being said, I do see before they were Codex and Excuse Me, but this time they are just Codex, which makes me keep my fingers crossed as to, you know, what exactly we're going to be seeing from both teams coming in today. So that being said, let us run you through the different groups, because all of these teams are definitely not going to be playing at the same time. They will be splitted into different groups where they would be performing. So that being said, let us see how the groups are spread out, they're distributed across the board. As we can see, it's going to be Group A having the side there of Game Lords, Konina Power, Team Codex, and Team GQ. Group B will be having the side there of Mad Bulls, Dagestan 77, Alpha 7, or I like to call them Alpha Sage, because I believe that's what 7 is in their language, you know. But anyway, Alpha 7 will be gracing us with their presence today, and we will be seeing them coming through with Group B, as well as the guys there from Dark Project. The side there of Group C would have none other but, I keep forgetting what team that is, and I know the team so well, not gonna lie. It's just that the logo just throws me off sometimes. But anyway, Group C is going to be none other but the side there of Excuse Me. Yeah, that is Excuse Me. That explains why I was confirmed. Excuse Me, the side there of Shockwave, Unicorns of Love, and the side there of Gaimin Gladiators. And I can see that there's a whole lot of you, or let me just say there's a whole lot of us who are looking forward to seeing how the Gaimin Gladiators are going to fare today. You know, it's a new name, it's a new insignia, and in as much as we do not like to talk about it, it does affect the team sometimes whenever they change name, change organizations, or even change their insignia. So we'll be looking forward to seeing if the side there of Gaimin Gladiators would be one of those teams, or if they would not be. Group D would have the side there of Major Pride, Sly Machine, the Muerte, Kasik being in that Group D, and this is one crazy team. We did see the side there of Kasik and the Muerte go crazy in the last PUBG Mobile tournament that was held by Lidoma. That was the Invitational one. That's about 2 weeks ago. I can't believe time actually does fly, and we did see the Muerte and Kasik show us exactly what they are. And the last group for this qualifiers today, I don't know why I'm calling it qualifiers. I think I would rather call it semi-finals, as we head into the finals immediately after this. But anyway, it's going to be Group E with the side here of ARR Esport, Sly Europe, Nexus Gaming, and Team Doom. And I'm kind of confused. There's Sly Machines and then there's Sly Europe. They have the same fox, but one fox is orange and the other fox is red. Let me know if you guys see different colors, because that's the color difference that I see. But yeah, and we'll be having Team Doom also show up, and man, am I excited to see the way all of these teams would be playing today. Now I'm actually just going to put this out there. These teams are absolutely crazy, and I have seen them play before. I'm looking forward to seeing how well they will play today as we head into today's game. So that being said, I know many of you are wondering, eventually, what are these guys fighting for? Well, these guys are fighting for a whooping prize pool of $1,000 US. As we can see, the first place would be walking home with $400 to their name. Second place would be walking home with $200. Third place would have $100. Fourth place, $75. Fifth place would be $75 too. And sixth place would be $50. Seventh place would be $50. And eighth place would be $50. And I tell you, it's going to get real crazy. That being said, if you are any of these teams, you know exactly what you're gunning for. But one thing I know is that regardless of how spread spread out this prize pool is uh, everybody's gone in for that first place, right? Like everybody just wants that first place to just be balanced, because nobody actually wants to settle for second place in this tournament. So that being said, I'm looking forward to seeing which one of these teams is fighting for it. But just so you guys know, they are not fighting for that today. That is what they'll be fighting for if they're able to qualify into that finals. So that being said, all of these teams would be giving it their all and showing us exactly what they are made of. So that being said, let us see how are these teams going to fight it out. We do not know, but I will be showing you, because these guys will be fighting it out on our favorite maps of PUBG Mobile. That being said, we will not be seeing so much. We will not be actually seeing Sanhok at all in the semi-finals, but not to worry. Not to really worry. It's going to be finals. We'll be running through in just Erangel, Miramar, Erangel, Miramar, and Erangel. We'll be starting the day in Erangel. We'll be going over to Miramar. We'll continue things off in Erangel. We'll go again in Miramar, and then we close off the day in Erangel. So that being said, we do know how all of these teams. We know that these are the most familiarized maps. They're the most played maps when we start to look at PUBG Mobile. So yeah, all of these teams will be very familiarized with this one, and this is situations where I start to say, if you have one map that is your favorite map, you want to drop that and make sure you're very consistent on every single map going into today's game. So that being said, we'll be having the groups alternate in the different maps, where we'll be seeing groups A, B, C, and D played in the first map of the day. Then we move on to the next game, where group D will sit out, group E comes in, and then we'll move into the third match of the day, where we're going to see yet another group sit out, which will be group C, and then we'll go into match 4, where we're going to be seeing group B sit out, and in match 5 we'll be seeing the players there, or the teams there from group A, sitting out on that one. So that being said, we are in for a treat. We are in for one heck of a day, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these teams are going to perform today, because man, this is a choked up lobby. I mean, we're looking at the lobby that has the likes of Alpha 7, the likes of Dagestan 77, we've got the Mad Bulls, we've got Gaimin Gladiators, we've got the guys there from Codex. These are teams that we know are capable of fragging out. And man, as we all know, the point system in PUBG Mobile has been updated, which means now if you're finishing in, if you're getting that winner chicken dinner, you're only getting 10 points to yourself. Now, according to the old placement points, you would only get 10 points if you finish in third place. But right now, you need to finish in first place in order to be able to get 10 points. So that means all of these teams need to place their focus on getting those eliminations. This is where playing with strategy is going to have to complement, is going to have to work alongside with getting those elims. So as much as you may try to be strategic, you need to know how to get those elims. And just because you're fighting for the elims does not mean you should throw consistency out of the box, and nor does it mean you should throw your rotations out of the box, because the rotations have to be pinpoint perfect. You have to know how all of these teams will land. And man, even speaking of landing, we'll start to talk about those hot drops. This is something that we do not want to see repeatedly as we head into the games today. We see teams fight all the time on or in regards to drop location. So I'm looking forward to seeing people sharing today, being a little bit accommodating. You're not fighting too much, you're just trying to get looted up and get into the games, because I tell you, you do not want to be losing so much players early in that game. Now, that being said, not losing players early in the game or not wanting to take early fights too is also something, and I feel like at this point I may contradict myself by saying A and then saying B, which is opposite of A. But still, in as much as I do not want you to fight in regards to drop locations, we're also looking at getting into early engagement, because one thing we know about PUBG Mobile is that many of these teams like to work on their momentum. So if you're starting off the game with early 4 elims, you know that you're Gucci, you're going into that game feeling ever so confident. So yeah, even in as much as you want to play it smart when it comes to landing, you want to make sure that heading into that 4th phase of the circle, you're already having enough elims to yourself, because when you start to get into that 4th phase of the circle, 5th phase of the circle, that's when we start to see those eliminations start to reduce. You want to make sure that you're getting elims well before those stages, because 4 elims already goes a long way. So going in there knowing that, oh, I am in this team and I've got 2 elims to my name, you're feeling confident, you want to actually just take down anybody who's staying right in front of you. So that being said, I'm looking forward to seeing all of that come through from this team. And man, even seeing the way, I would like to know maybe not as a viewer, but like, you know, as the teams, would you guys actually think the teams are happier with the fact that there is no Sanhok being played in the semifinals? Because I tell you, Sanhok sometimes is that map that maybe a pop-off map for some of these teams, but at the same time, we do know that a lot of these teams do not like that Sanhok of a map because it's so random, it's so chaotic, you know, it's unpredictable too, you know, and you know, Sanhok isn't that map that everybody would really like. Well, I mean, left to me, I like Sanhok because, man, anywhere there's violence and there's trouble, you can always count me down or count me up. Count me in. Yeah, you can always count me in that. So that being said, I look forward to seeing how all these teams will play today, and I'm pretty sure many of these teams will get the chance to, you know, go against each other, given that, you know, they're playing in their favorite maps, you know, and with the way the map order is structured, it kind of takes away that possibility of fighting or making the same mistakes, you know. So, you know, if you're making that mistake in first Erangel, you know, when you head into the next Erangel of the day, you know you're definitely not making that same mistake that you've made in the first Erangel. So, you know, it kind of gives the chance to for teams to, you know, look back at what they may have done and fix it up. So, you know, like your first Erangel is going to be, or your second Erangel is not going to be bad as, or it's not going to be as bad as your first Erangel, you know. And then your second Erangel is not going to be, or second Miramar is not going to be as bad as your first Miramar. So, man, we do know that this map order today kind of gives the chance for all of these teams to do well. Now, that being said, speaking of teams, we've already been seeing a whole lot of changes in teams. You know, we do see the likes of Moniken in Codex, and that man is absolutely, you know, I want to use the word crazy, but that man has actually been on fire of recent. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he's going to be able to continue, because, man, that dude was carrying his team and the last time I saw him, and I'm looking forward to seeing. And one thing I know about competitive players is that, you know, when they say in the first tournament a player carries, that kind of motivates the other players that, you know what, going into another tournament, I am not going to allow you carry me the way you've carried me before. So that being said, I'm looking forward to seeing how some teams like Team Codex are going to play. You know, I'm also looking forward to seeing how the team there from, not Game Lords, actually Gaimin Gladiators are going to play, you know. And I'm looking forward also to Unicorns of Love. Now, I mentioned Unicorns of Love because, man, that is a relatively new team, right? And that being said, they're a new team, which means the synergy and all of that is not exactly, you know, in place yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing how well they'll be able to work on that. See, maybe they would have all their rotations in place if that synergy is already beginning to work. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing that one. And, man, I'm looking forward to huge differences coming through from Sly Machines and Sly Europe, because, man, those are two same squads but different squads that I'm also keeping my eye out for. Team GQ, a team I would always keep my eye out for because I saw them in the PMNC making it in. So I really look forward to seeing how well they're going to play. Last time I saw them, they did show me a little bit of the aggressive prowess that I knew them for. They were not quite able to keep up with the consistency though. We did see them drop a little bit. So that being said, I'm looking forward to seeing them play more consistent today. So Team GQ, I'm looking at you. I'm looking forward to seeing how you're going to do. And Alpha 7, you know, it's a new region, an entirely new region that they're playing in. So which would mean, like, you know, different play style. They're going to have to switch up the way they may play. And, you know, it is more experience for them. But at the same time, I'm looking forward to seeing how well they're going to play this one. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Shadi Adu, Ula Balu, and Oiti Toiti, because I know you're tired of my analysis, let's get into the first game of the day. It's going to be none other but Erangel. Now, welcome to Erangel. This is the Lidoma Pubg Mobile Invitational twist. I was trying to change to my alter ego there, but unfortunately, I'm not. I'm not the best at doing that. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Erangel. That play path is absolutely chaotic, as we see it favoring so much of that military island. We do see it coming all the way from the beaches of Novorepnonye, heading up straight to those shorelines of the hospital area. So that is a playing path, very southern dominated playing path. So we do know that all of these teams are going to be in a whole lot of trouble. Meanwhile, if you're here for a particular team, let me see you spam the chat. Let me, maybe not spam the chat, but let me see you actually go crazy in the chat. If you've not subscribed to the channel, be sure to drop a subscribe. And, man, I do see someone coming in from Dagestan 77. I'm not gonna lie, Limbo Boom is a player that I have seen actually show us, you know, what he's made of. But anyway, We do see we do see a lot of these teams jumping off. It might look like there's a lot of skirmishes I will be going through, especially early on in the game. We do see Team GQ going all the way to the farm area. See the side there of ARR Esports heading towards that quarry area. We the side there of Gaimin Gladiators going somewhere close to that military bridge. We do see vehicles already being found. The early zone popping off. We do see that being a northern breach. A little bit of a nightmare for many of these teams, especially given the fact that that play zone, or sorry, that playing path was down to the south. So that being said, all of these teams would be keeping their eye out on the money. Anyway, just see the guys there from Mad Bulls finding their way to the circle. Being a little bit noisy. I'm not a big fan. Anyway, we do see the side there of Major Pride. We'll be taking a couple of shots towards the rotating members there from the Mad Bulls, you know, telling them stop making noise, we're in the school area. So yeah, and I believe that is something I'm down for, you know, kind of like send them away, do not make them make so much noise in our ears. But anyway, yeah, still talking about where the teams are situated. We do have the side there of Team Codex looking all calm and gentle down there in that muta area of the map. Last time I did see Codex, they were fighting against another team out here. So you know, it's good to see that they may have sorted out that fight. We do see the side there of Team GQ out there in the outskirts. We do know them to land somewhere in the outskirts of Muta, close to the farm area. So it's good to see them just chilling and relaxing out there. Not too much stress. The sides there of ARR out there in the pre-mosque towards the quarry area. See them enjoying it, having a little bit of fun out there in that area. Not too much trouble being caused by them. Side of Game Lords finding their way all to Yaznaya. The side there of Shockwave. We do see them making it all the way to Severny like they normally would. Alpha 7 out there in North Jojopo like we normally would see them in South George. Do have a little bit of a skirmish between the side there of Konina Power up against Excuse Me. You see shots already coming in through as Excuse Me would lose one already. Knight from Cave, or sorry, Knight from Konina Power actually. Just trying to see if he can hold up. Konina Power looking like a relatively new squad, you know. I mean, if you ask me, this is not a team that this is not a squad that I've really seen many of the times, as we do see engagements already getting started. A little bit of pre-fires coming in through Excuse Me, able to grab that one revive back up. Yang though, you know, a whole lot of trouble. It's only a matter of time before the Konina Power players decide to go for the full send upstairs. Try to see if they can push that player. Oh man, these are the early engagements that I did not want, but it's kind of inevitable. I will take it since it's just one in the whole of the lobby. So I'm not going to complain too much about it. I'm just going to let it happen. At least let these players enjoy it. At least for the time being. We'll see the side there of Konina Power trying to play this very carefully, and I kind of like the patience that is coming through from them, not really overextending. We do see Pelucci going upstairs with the auto shotgun. He's got a couple of shots in there, not quite able to get any to connect, and he will fall to Yang as Konina Power decided to push one after the other, but Yang is not going to be able to hold up against that DBS. It's a monstrous weapon, and the side of Excuse Me will eventually lose one. Doesn't look like they really want to take this fight. Black looking to find an angle. And, you know, these early engagements are not something that, you know, we really encourage. But like I said, this one was necessary evil. Excuse Me. The double piece grenade would be able to get that advantage over the side there of Konina Powers. Now they're down to the final two with Song looking very low on HP. Obalduyi, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, but Obalduyi outside here or just chilling here, trying to see if he can hold up in that 1v2 situation. The side of Konina Power wondering how they got this all wrong. They did have the advantage before, but right now they seem to be at that disadvantage. Zlul Kotsik hears the footsteps, sees the players going for the heal, goes for the pre-fire, not quite able to get any to connect. He's got 11 bullets in the clip and it's enough to get that knock as Excuse Me looking to capitalize on this engagement. There's one more player left for the side there of Konina Power, and it's only a matter of time before they push up to that player. Konina Power seemed to have the advantage on that fight. It did look like their fights to take, but Excuse Me able to just capitalize very, very well on that fight, making it on, would be able to go for that push. as we can already see that push coming in through from the side there of excuse me. They know exactly what to do. Molotov's already been sent. And the push looking to get started anytime soon. As we can already see the pre-fires coming in. Not going to be able to get that knock quite yet. As Obaldui does climb to the top of the roof. Looking to get that off angle. Side there of Konina Power not quite able to hold it up. As one player would go down. For the side there of excuse me. And excuse me looking to capitalize on this fight. But it's not looking to be the best. Furia looking for a way to grab that revive. And this is something where, you know, it's just that one player. Find a way to push him. As that man looking so much for that thirst. Unfortunately, we will not be able to get it. As the side there of excuse me will grab yet another revive. I like the fact that they're taking their time on this fight. And man, Obaldui is actually on fire. He might just be able to do this. He's been able to get 2 players down. And right now, I kind of believe in him. He's down in a 1v1 situation because Black is currently not being revived by Furia. Man's going back to the top of the roof. His favorite position. No grenades, no molotovs, or any throwables in hand. All he's got is smoke grenades. And Obaldui. Yeah, Obaldui. Looking to find those angles. The players there from, excuse me, down to 2 players. I don't know if I do not know any better. This is sometimes called throw-in. Not the way they would have wanted this fight to start though. Or not the way they would have actually wanted to start this game. And this is what I'm saying, right? For Konina Power, right? And normally before, with the old placement point system, we would see Obaldui just, you know, get out of here. Like, try to just, you know, run away from this fight. But man, you can just see that that player, he's not going to be doing that. He just wants to get those elims because he knows those elims are, you know, of more importance when we start to look at this. But it looks like, excuse me, do not want the fight. Obaldui takes a couple of shots, not quite able to get it to connect. So excuse me, still looking to hold on with Black, just holding it up in front. Obaldui knows exactly where that player is. It's a question of how much he wants to push it, how badly he wants it. Excuse me, Black. Only left with bandages to kind of heal up. And man, this is actually, I would almost say sad, at least for both teams. Because, you know, this is not exactly what they would really want when we, you know, start heading into this game. But anyway, we'll be keeping our eye out back on them in the later times as we do see the zone shift. We already have a little bit of engagement going on between Team Kasik and the side there of Dagestan 7-7 as they're able to get that first elim. Losing a whole lot of players, but no team is currently out yet. Excuse me, still looking to get that push on. Looking to get that push up onto that last player there from Konina Power. Obaldui still trying to hold it up. Excuse me, holding on an angle. With Furia finding that off angle onto the side there of Obaldui. Waiting for that man to just jump out of the building because he knows. He knows exactly what he's going to do. Say that situation does come through. We do already see rotations coming in through from all of these teams. As you can see, the Gaimin Gladiators now find themselves in a little bit of trouble. Matic is going to be the first man down. Might just get revived, but the side there of Dark Project, they do not seem to want that revive to come through. As we see them just driving around, waiting to see if there are any players in the vicinity before they try to get the thirst, and they would eventually do. And this is where it starts to get interesting, right? You know, when players start to, or when teams start to lose player early on in the game, you know, we'll see how much it affects those teams as they head into the rest of the circle. Konina Power and excuse me still at it, while we see a lot of trouble going in that center of the circle, as we do see that circle shift to the center. A lot of these teams still looking for a way into that circle. Not quite able to find any yet. Some GQ did speak about them. We already see them making it straight into that center of the circle. Same thing can be said about the muerte, as we see them on that edge. Looking to fight it in. And man, this is what we like to say, you know, early on in the game, everyone's just going to be quiet, playing it a little bit carefully because, you know, You know, they can't really be stressing too much. But they actually have to stress to get into the circle. But man, you do already see good positions being held by many of the teams. You know, that northern edge being held by the side there of Shockwave. See the side there of Game Lords out there on that north eastern edge. We do see yet another zone shift down to that south. Goes on towards that southwest area. Major Pride finding themselves sitting comfortably on the northern edge of that circle. Same thing can be said about Mad Bulls just west of them. Everyone just trying to see if they can get into the circle. Alpha 7 out there on that eastern edge, running into a little bit of a rotational cluster with the side there of that project. It's gonna be Carillo getting that instant knock onto Latte. That was smooth, just like Latte. But Molotovs are going to be sent out towards the position of Carillo. But that Molotov is just going to do more damage onto the side there of Dark Project. As we can already see the pre-fires coming in through. Carillo is good for 2 as he's able to get yet another player down for the side there of Dark Project. The off angle is wonderful to come get Carillo down. Senab tries to go for that push up onto that man, but he's not quite able to get it. Here comes the rest. Here comes the cavalry for Alpha 7, but the same can be said about the side there of Dark Project as we see the push already coming into DPs. Or sorry, make that DBS is in the hands of the Alpha 7 players. Gonna be enough as Revo would be the man to help that team, save them from what seemed to be like a disaster. They would lose Senna in that engagement, but 4 eliminations to get things started. Excuse me, able to finally get that fight done as they're able to take out all the players there from Konina Power. The patience indeed paid off. As we see more rotational clusters coming in through. Out there on the side, we've got south, we've got the side there of the Muerte, looking to get closer and closer in the Church of Pochinki to the guys there of Team Kasik. Kasik not quite coming into this game with a whole lot of players. Only started with 3. They're able to get 1 elimination, but they've lost 1 player so far. Might just find themselves in a little bit of a skirmish, a little bit of a lock with a couple of these teams. See them just playing towards those ridge lines, playing it as carefully as possible. Side there of Shockwave, trying to see if they can make it into that circle from that northern edge, trying to see if they can dominate the northern bridge. Same thing can be said about the Unicorns of Love as they continue to watch out on that bridge, watch the roads, waiting for that rotation to come through from the side of Shockwave. I believe they are aware of each player, they are aware of where they are, so they're just waiting for who's going to make that first move into that circle. Shockwave, aware of exactly what they're going through, but this is going to be a very suicidal run if they decide to try to get it on that bridge. Side of Shockwave, there isn't so many other parts you can get into that circle. You just tell Shockwave, and this is where you start to strategize. How do we want to get into that next circle, right? How do we want to cross this bridge without getting taken out by the side of Unicorns of Love, because they know that they're currently being watched. So it's just a question of how well they're going to play it. Maybe they might not just move to move just yet, as the zone does come a little bit to their favor on that northern edge. Same thing can be said about Team GQ and Codex. Alpha 7 out there on that western edge. Almost running into the players there from, excuse me, as they continue to take in shots. And this is what I was talking about when we started to, or when we're saying things about the momentum going into the game, that once you're able to get those elims going into that 3rd, 4th phase, you start getting more comfortable, you know, taking out all of these teams. And that is what we're seeing from the side there from, excuse me. They know that they've been able to get a couple of elims to their name, and you can just see them just flexing it, taking shots at pretty much everyone who's trying to get into the circle, and that is just confidence at its finest. But anyway, southern edge of the circle is where we're seeing skirmishes coming through from the side there of Gaimin Gladiators, as they would lose yet another one in Tixi. They do have a lot of players on the off angle as Kitsune does coming through, taking in some shots, not quite able to get Milky Way down, but the off angle from Meku would be the one to take them down, as they would now lose 2. The third party is imminent, but the side there of Gaming Gladiators, they need to get that revival, but Meku going to have to face 2 more players from the side of Demerta all on his own. Apj and Moldy find themselves just right above him. Definitely aware of where that player is. The third party coming through from the side of Team GQ, you know that they're not one team to shy away from sounds, especially sounds of gunshots. As you see the side of Muerte looking to go for that full send onto the side of Kitsune and Tixi. The full send is there. DBS in the hand as cover fire will be coming in through for the side of Gaming Gladiator. Maybe not enough as the side of Gaimin Gladiators would lose Kitsune now. Gaimin Gladiators down to just the one player in Meku, trying to see if he can spray and pray through the smoke, getting a couple of damage done, but it's not enough, as that man has to hold his end against the side there of the muerte. Does spot Milky Way in the smoke, but Maldi is able to return the favor. The third party comes through on the side there of the muerte from Alpha 7 as they continue to take in the shots onto those players. 2 players now down, or make that 3 for the side of the muerte as they're left with Happy J, who's definitely not an happy dude out there in that circle on that southern edge. That is definitely not the place he wants to be, but out there in the Church of the Ruins, we've got trouble looming for the side of Team Codex. They're not playing Moniken in this game, so they have 2 players down, with Single having to hold his own in a 1v2 against the side there of Mad Bulls. Grenades coming out towards his position. He's able to cook 1-2. It does a little bit of work, but it's not enough to quite get Zerich down. Trying to see if he can load up those grenades as Single continues to let those nades fly. It's a wonderful one coming through from Dagestan though, as they look to get the fights. Team GQ out there on the south looking to get started with the side of Game Lords as they find their way on that headshot heels. Shots will be getting, or the fights will be getting started as soon as possible, but we'd already see the fights getting started out here in the church area on that northern side of the circle. So many players already in the water, and I'm speaking of the side there of Shockwave. Team Codex looking for those off angles, those dirty angles onto the side there of Major Pride, and the fight will indeed get started as we do see Game Lord crashing straight into the side there of Team GQ. 1 knock already coming in through its evil station, getting Narvalo down. His position on the top of that roof definitely exposed. Takes a couple of shots from the cover fire. That's an excellent nade from Robs, but he's not able to quite do the damage. Toffies and Evil Station have to hold their ends. Game Lords looking to get that revive. It's a nice play coming through from the Game Lords. 3 players sending it straight into the compound with Akashi out there on that cover fire as they continue to load those nades towards the side there of Team GQ. Team Codex successfully taking out the side there of Mad Bulls. As Game Lords get that revive up, want to continue up on the push. We do see the side there of Dagestan still keeping it up, keeping it clean out there on that southern edge of the circle. Same thing can be said about Shockwave on the north. A lot of players out there around that church area. As we do see Game Lord getting away from this fight. They're deciding not to commit to that fight, but instead they'll be heading straight into the church area where we've got the side there of Team Codex already looking strong, excuse me, in their vicinity. And it's so interesting to see that Team Excuse Me are still out there alive with only 2 players, still keeping it up. And man, I'm not going to mention the word momentum again, as we already see that it is played well for the side there of Konina Power, or sorry, make that Excuse Me. But Dagestan 7-7, they hear the side there of Game Lords form up on them. They continue to take the shots as they now forced onto the defense. It's wonderful as Robs will be that first player down. They do lose 1 in a trade, as Akashi is wonderful on that cover fire that he's been providing all day long. Unfortunately, the revive has to come from his side. Long grenades being thrown out from the side there of Zadira. Not quite enough. Akashi continues to find those off angles. More shots will be coming in towards his position. Akashi would eventually go down. That does not spell good for the side there of Game Lords, as they have to continue on this fight. Smoking up, trying to see if they can protect themselves, because that is all they can do. From the water is going to be the side there of Shockwave and pushing the side there of Alpha 7, but they've also got their players in the water in Revo getting some knocks. And I'm just loving the way these players are just getting the knocks, heading back into the water, trying to see if they can gather as much information as possible. Carillo, he's down. And the side of Alpha 7 still have to continue trying to see if they can grab that revive. Team Codex still looking strong, only 2 knocks, or sorry, all players still alive. But they've only got 2 aliens to their name, but they have a very rough idea of pretty much where everyone in this circle is. We do see the side of Game Lord taking in some shots. 2 players alive with Narvalo and Victor, trying to see if they can hold it up for the squad till the end. But a wonderful grenade from Limbo Boom. That man has been on fire, or we know that man is on fire. And we can already see the shots coming in through. He follows it up with a Molotov. Definitely no way for a revive. Not many teams fragging out here, as the elims are evenly spread across all of these teams. Zone yet again about to shift. This is one of those very dirty zones. Side of Shockwave beginning to feel the impact of that circle as we get yet another shift. Or we're about to get yet another shift. And it does push us down to the south. It's going to be trouble in the ruins. It's Sunday today and there is a whole lot of trouble in the church. As we already see players getting those information. And this is just one thing I'm enjoying seeing from the side of Team Codex. They're able to grab as much information as possible. Now, it's not a question of how well are they going to, work with this information that they've been able to gather so far. See so many color clusters. 8 teams still alive with 23 players. Alpha 7 out there with some of the swimmers from the side there of Team Shockwave. I almost want to call them Team Snowix because I really know Snowix in that team. Unicorns of Love, able to still keep it alive out there on that northern edge of the circle. Waiting for this engagement to get started. Team GQ left with just one. It does look like a full send is coming in through. Evo Station goes for the push up onto that man Kip. Will make that Shivu. But Shifu is going to be the one to send back Evo Station into the lobby. As the side of Dagestan 77 continue to increase their prowess in this lobby, coming in from the south, already up to 6 elims. And they're looking ever so strong. The side of Alpha 7 finding in that last player. As the side there of Shockwave, still looking for those players on the shorelines. And Alpha 7, Pedrinho takes some shots from Snowix, but it's not going to be enough. And I think that information is gathered. The side there of Shockwave holding on 2 different positions. As Seiko still trying to see if he can find an angle to make it up to the church. And like I said, right now it is trouble in the church. And the only team right here in the church is Team Codex, who surprisingly are actually not taking the most of this. They're not making the most of this position that they've got. I would expect to see a lot of fragging out coming through from them, given the fact that they can see pretty much everyone in the lobby. But they're playing it a little bit passively. It's almost like they cannot see many of the players, which kind of defeats the point of being in the church. But anyway, a couple of these teams will be going fishing. There's a Shockwave currently in the fish, currently being the fishes in the water. Side of Major Pride, they've been holding on the bottom of the church for quite a while, but now they've dragged the attention of the side of Dagestan 77, and we know that they've been on fire going into today's games. Already up to 6 eliminations, and they're looking to continue. They've got the favor of the zone on the south. And they've got a couple of working vehicles. So if anything goes wrong, they still have a way into the circle. The side there of Shockwave looking to get started on that southern edge. But Major Pride looking to hold it up. Monkey trying to take a couple of shots onto the side there of Shockwave. But this is very hard because that push cannot really come through. Excuse me, still alive. We're still up by 7 teams. And this zone continues to get smaller and smaller. Seiko trying to see if he can get a couple of information. He's in the water, but the side there of Major Pride also have players in the water. Alpha 7 playing huge spoiler for all of these teams in the lobby. Not quite able to get any of those knocks to connect. And Dagestan, they are the ones. They have eyes on pretty much everyone in the lobby. Now taking shots towards the side there of Excuse Me. And man, I can only imagine how much work is being done by all of the teams in this lobby. Unicorns of Love playing this very quietly, but right now they do not have that circle anymore. Alpha 7 taking in shots to the church as they find Team Codex now. A lot of shots being sent out to that direction, but Revo would feel a little bit of that impact. Pedrinho is the one who sees the knock onto the guys there from Shockwave, as Major Pride still looking to get that information. They do know there's players out there going for the revive. Nomi's gathered that information. He knows exactly what he's looking for. He's got a grenade in hand. He's going to be able to throw that one out. Yes, he does, but it's in the water. Oh, but it's wonderful to get back kick. Osiko. And Nomi tries to see if he can go in through the water. Snowwick sees that move. Takes a couple of shots. Would be nice. And Nomi about to do it once again. This time he's got support coming through from Dino. The grenade is good. He throws it out. Does a couple of damage. And you've just got to love the angle that the side of Major Pride are looking for here. But man, it's not playing out too well for the side of Shockwave. They do have Alpha 7 who can third party them at any moment. As we do see the side of Unicorn of Love taking in shots as they try to make it into the circle. They did crash the church. But Excuse Me is there waiting in for them. One player already down in Mi'i. As Swave will be the last player down. Furia though is not having it. The Groza in hand wants to go for the push. The pre-fire is coming in through. But the off angle is nice. And once again, we're only seeing knocks everywhere in the lobby. No player quite going out yet. But scratch that. Alpha 7 being set back. as we do see the side of Major Pride losing players to this to Shockwave, who one way or the other are still able to hold it in the circle. They've got 3 elims, 2 players left to hold it up for themselves. But if they are aware of Alpha 7 going out, that kind of frees up their back. Side of Dagestan still alive, not quite losing any player yet. As we see them now finding some of the players there from Major Pride who are still up as a full squad. Same thing can be said about Dagestan. I think those are the only 2 teams left to the full squad. Unicorn of Love still down to 2, having to face off in this 2v2 against Excuse Me. It's not the easiest. Grenades in the hands of Mi'i. Sending it in, but he's not going to be able to quite get any of those knocks. But Unicorns of Love, they do not have that blue zone, or they do not have the safe zone, and now the blue zone is going to push them. They have no choice but to move now. Grenades being thrown out. Excuse Me are waiting for that push. As the side of Unicorn of Love tried to attempt, but keep from Dagestan is not helping matters. Mihi is still keeping his eye focused on the push. The Elim is going to get stolen. It's a wonderful nade from Michi as he continues to push up onto Excuse Me. It's wonderful. The 2-piece to get his team, to keep his team still alive in this one. Dagestan still looking strong as they get started with the side there of Major Pride. Team Codex still on the top of the hill, on the top of the ruins. I'm saying it, I'm still very surprised that they're up as a full squad, or sorry, as a 2-man, but they still have these little elims. Side of Dagestan though, they have decided to focus on Major Pride, getting a couple of knocks or make that 1 elim coming in through. They are sending in the grenades though, and Team Codex now deciding not to keep quiet any longer. They know where the side of Dagestan are. They do have that high ground advantage, and all they just have to do is continue to chunk those grenades down. Not quite able to get the distance he wants on that one, Folly. We're down to the final 5 teams. Unicorns of Love out there in the church. Michi might have to make his way into the circle anytime now, and Folly definitely has information on that position. Major Pride and Shockwave still sharing that shoreline. They still find themselves in the circle, so not too much that they're worried about at the moment. Major Pride still waiting. They've only got 3 elims. Spectre, the man who was doing most of the elims, not quite alive, as Dagestan will find that last player from Unicorns of Love, softening up that western edge of the circle. I kind of like the splits coming through from the side of Dagestan, holding up different angles, keeping your enemies guessing. That's exactly what you want. But Team Codex, they are aware, they know where Shockwave is. But ladies and gentlemen, we have just closed up stage 8. Or sorry, phase 8. And now it means there is no more circles. We're going to watch a final showdown between 4 teams. Shockwave, Codex, Major Pride, and Dagestan. They have to fight it up as that zone is just going to continue to close up from now henceforth. And we already see that zone starting to close slower and slower. 2 minutes on the clock. Team Dagestan trying to make a move from that western edge. Team Codex, they also realize that, as you can already see them getting that fight started, this fight is going to have to happen simultaneously. Shockwave being the one in a whole lot of danger at the moment. Molotovs being thrown out. And the side of Team Codex trying to see if they can get the side there of Shockwave. Indeed they will. 1 player does go down. Folly is good for 1, and he is good for 2, as the side there of Shockwave will be the first to go out. But just that push that they decided to go for opened up the space for the side of Dagestan, as now they have sent it straight into that position. Grenades being sent out. As the side of Dagestan 77 looking to push up onto the side of Team Codex first. They have the information and they're using it. Grenades are landing. Folly cannot stay in that position. They have to move now. The blue zone is pushing up into their position. Folly is going to be the first man down as Purple finds his way down, hits the deck, prone in it, doing it the old-fashioned style. Limbo Boom is not going to spot that man, but in the snake in the grass doing in the work. Dagestan are not aware, but Purple is going to have to stand up to play spoiler for the side of Dagestan now as they face off onto Major Pride. They're good for 1. Purple comes in from the back of the blue. He's trying to get a knock, but he's not able to. It's now a 4v2. The side there of Dagestan absolutely on fire. The chicken dinner goes to their hands. They were wonderful all game long, and they kept that wonder till the end of the game. 13 eliminations. And the winner chicken dinner. What more could you ask for? The side there of Dagestan 77 have come into the lobby to rule it. And that is exactly what we wanted to see from them. They held it up as a full squad from the beginning till the end of the circle, gathered so much information of the circle, and then they decided, or when it was time to actually put in the work, they went in straight without hesitation, and they were able to take out pretty much every team in this lobby. Wonderful gameplay coming through from them. I cannot even say anything bad. That was wonderful to say the least. Love it. We do see Zadira getting 6 elims all to himself. That man was absolutely wonderful. We did see him taking shots at pretty much everyone. He was the one who actually cleared up that eastern edge for that team. Oh, sorry, make that western edge for the team. And you just love to see that the instance decided of Team Codex decided to focus on Shockwave. Dagestan did not waste any time. They just ran straight into that position, decided to take it. And I said it, Team Codex, they actually did not make the best of that position, you know. I feel like they could have done more, they could have done better, but unfortunately they were not quite able to do it. Dagestan would walk home with that chicken dinner, decided of Major Pride, got a little bit carried away with the side there of Shockwave. Wasted a whole lot of time on that western edge. Unfortunately, did not play out well for them. Third place Team Codex, I did say it, they were on the top of the hill. They had one of the best positions in the circle, but unfortunately were not quite able to capitalize on it. There was a point where all they had to do was chunk grenades onto the side there of Dagestan, but unfortunately their grenades were not just landing. So yeah, the side there of Team Codex, you want to actually work on that one. Shockwave, using that water to their advantage, they were able to get only 3 elims, and this is what I was talking about when we start to talk about that, because man, you're finishing in 4th place, but if you're not getting that much elims, it doesn't quite play off well for you. Unicorns of Love in 5th place with 3, side there of Excuse Me in 6th place with 8 elims. We did see them get started on that early engagement, and this is what I was talking about. Early engagement starts in the game, you're going to be wonderful, you're going to be Gucci, and that is exactly what you want to do. They worked on that momentum, and they were able to get 8 elims to their name. Not a bad finish if you ask me. The side of Alpha 7, we did see them frag out a lot on that western edge as they finish in 7th place. I mean, Alpha 7 finishing in 7th, what else would I see? But anyway, with 8 elims to their name, if only it was 7 elims, that would have been 777. Team GQ in 8th place with none. Game Lord in 9th place with 2. The side there of the Muerte in 10th place with 4 elims. Mad Bulls 11-0. Gaimin Gladiator in 12th place with 1. Team Kasik in 13th with 1. The side there of Dark Project in 14th place with 2 elims. Konina Power in 15th place with 2 elims. And, well, that's not Beast, because Beast just did not enter the right spot. But what a game. What a game we have just seen. That was absolutely wonderful to start off the game. Now, when we start to see those zones that go to the north, or those zones that are out there on that eastern side, depending on how you're looking at it. But anyway, that ends up actually on the northwestern side of Headshot Hills is where we start to see a lot of trouble. You know, those ruined circles are not the best, and man, all of these teams, seeing the way they played it was absolutely wonderful. You know, we headed into like I think we headed into like the 7th phase, still having, or the 6th phase actually, still having about 8 teams alive, you know, and even in that final phase of the circle, there were only, or the game, there were still 4 teams alive who had to battle it out, you know, as that zone continue to close. So man, it just goes to show you that all of these teams are pretty much good when we start to talk about the positioning, but man, when we start to look at those elims, maybe not too many of them are doing so well on it. So yeah, if you're one of these teams in the lobby, you want to make sure you're actually upping up those eliminations as you're going into the game. But ladies and gentlemen, that was the first game of the Lidoma Pubg Mobile Invitational Twist. These teams have set the tone, they've set the pace, and we're going to definitely use that one to our advantage. So that being said, do not go anywhere. I'll be right back with the next game of the day. It's going to be none other but Miramar. But stay tuned, stay connected, and I will be right back with more PUBG Mobile action. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lidoma Pubg Mobile Invitational Twist. My name is Crowns, and I have taken you through the first game of the day, where we did see Dagestan 77 showing us how superior they can be in this lobby. So that being said, we've seen them already take home that first winner chicken dinner, as now we're going to be heading into the second match of the day. It's going to be none other but Miramar. Now the question is, can Dagestan continue to keep that consistency? We've already seen them get 13 elims and the winner chicken dinner going into that first game of the day. So man, we know like they're absolutely on fire. They've already gotten started in a very good position. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see them do very well going into this game. So that being said, Dagestan, I've got my eyes on you. Keep my eye out on you. Heading into the second game is going to be none other but Miramar. In Miramar, we're going to be having teams sit out. We're going to be having the guys there from Group D, I believe, sitting out of this one, which means we're going to be having 4 more new teams coming into the lobby. So that being said, we're just going to load that out to show you what teams will be sitting out of that lobby. Yeah, so yeah, for this next game, we're going to be having the side there of Group D sit out of the lobby, where we will not be seeing Major Pride. The side there of Sly Europe, the Muerte, and Team Kasik will not be playing in the second game of the day. We're going to be seeing ARR Esport, Sly EU, I believe Sly Europe. But anyway, Sly Europe, the side of Nexus Gaming, and Team Doom will all be the teams that will be 4 teams that will be coming back into the lobby to play this next game of the day. So which one of these teams is going to be ballsy enough to get the winner chicken dinner on Miramar? We are about to find out. So that being said, let's get into the first game, or sorry, the next game of the day. It's going to be none other but Miramar, as we already see that playing part taking us all the way from that northeastern edge, taking us down to that southwestern edge of the circle. I look forward to seeing a whole lot of earlier drops, especially in this Miramar game, given the fact that Miramar is that big map that doesn't have enough places for everybody to land. It's very ironic. That's like the most ironic statement anybody could make, but that is the fact of what it is. That is exactly what it is. Miramar is that map that actually is big. Very big. Matter of fact, I think it's the biggest map of the game. I mean, it's the same size as Erangel, but still, it's the biggest map that has the time. Like, it doesn't have enough landing locations for all of the teams. But I mean, this playing path is actually a little bit nice. So I think all of these teams would be able to work with it. So we could already see them, you know, jumping out. I think there's like a couple of places where, you know, people could actually you know, land and you know, get settled. So I think it's something they can do, right? So yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of playable area. We've got El Azaha, even Campo Militar is in play. But you know, the funny thing is, with all of those places, right? If all of these teams are not doing too well in that position, or rotating from that position is actually not the best. So you know, all of these teams would have to find a way to make it into the circle later on in the game. But anyway, we just see a little bit of fight getting started out there in Hacienda del Patron, where you see the guys there from Shockwave getting started with Dagestan, the winners of the last game. We did see Dagestan play a little bit of spoiler onto their side in that last game. As you can already see, the push already coming into Dagestan, coming into this game feeling very good already. You know, they did have that winner chicken dinner to their name. But Shockwave, they've got the angles to play with. Limbo Boom definitely knows where Shockwave Sterminus is. That was a close one. If that man had not gotten, and this is one of the things about Hacienda del Patron, you know, it gets very, very nasty when players already climb to the top of that roof, you know, because man, they could shoot you from pretty much any direction. Anyway, Dagestan, we're going to be Shockwave would be getting that one revive up onto their teammates. Shifu just spots another one player there from Shockwave. Is going to be Seiko, takes him down. Instant flush is going to follow suit. Snowwick's trying to see if he can just move around, trying to gather as much information as possible, but unfortunately would not be able to do so. They do lose one. Not too many players have so much HP up. As Minus on the top of the roof, trying to put in a lot of work. Razor getting out of there, and this is where when you start to take that fight in Hacienda, you have to start playing it very carefully, because you know your teammate, if he does get reduced, there isn't enough first aid kits to go around to you know, share. So which mean, like, you know, you have to start to hold up for that teammate to come back. But anyway, I guess it's not going to work out, as the side there of Shockwave lose yet another player. Snowy trying to see if he can hold it up, takes a couple of shots. 249 in the hand of that man Keep. He's going to be sending all shots downstairs. As Snow is still trying to hold it up. Meanwhile, we do have the side of Alpha 7 taking in that engagement out there on that western edge. We pull up to that fight in a bit. As we can just see Snow trying to see if he can hold it up. The pre-fires are coming in through with the micro Uzi. But once that revive comes through, we know the side of Dagestan are not going to waste any much time. Snow trying to see if he can prep that grenade. Sends it upstairs. It's a good one, but it's not quite able to get any knockdown. Waiting for that engagement to come through, the early ones. As we can see, Snowick's just trying to see if he can hold it up. That man doing a whole lot of work for his team. Still the only one with the most HP. And man, this is where he starts to use the throw function, right? I feel like he could have actually thrown a first aid kit to his teammate over there. But looks like he's not one to do that. Going over to the side there of Alpha 7, trying to see exactly what they're going through. They did get one elimination onto the side there of Dark Project. As we do see Senna does go down to one of the players there from Team Dark Project. They are not looking to get that thirst though. Oh, sorry, actually, Carillo is there to actually get the revive up. Senna trying to see if he can hold that off angle for his team. Madness trying to see if he can put in a whole lot of work. But will not be able to do it. We do see him going for that full set. Pedrinho is able to put in a whole lot of damage into his body as we see him continue on that push. Senna going for the pre-fire. He does lose a whole lot of HP. Madness looking for the angle. Not quite able to get it. Knows exactly where that player is. Shake on the top of the hill. Or sorry, on the top floor. Trying to put in some work. But Madness would eventually get overwhelmed by the side of Alpha 7. Ivaneska is able to get a trade up. Pedrinho out there in the background trying to see if he can lay a little bit of cover fire for his teammate as the remaining players there from Team Dark Project going for the full send. Alpha 7 down by 2. And the remaining 2 players are very, very low on HP. Not too many first aid kits in their hands. Pedrinho has only got a sniper for cover fire for his teammates. Maybe not the best of weapons you want to have in such situations. Shockwave would eventually get taken out. So we're pulling over to this fight properly. You see the shots already still coming in through. Alpha 7 trying to hold it up with 2. Very low on HP. Senab looking to get that revive up onto Carillo. A little bit of a baiting play coming in through from that player. Trying to see if he can bait those players out. But Pedrinho cannot do too much cover fire. The full send is coming in through. Pedrinho not quite able to get the shots to connect. Senna has to hold his own, but it's not enough. Pedrinho, all he's got is that sniper at hand. He eventually blinds himself and would eventually go down as Dark Project would send Alpha 7 packing out there in El Pozo. It was a good try though, but unfortunately the player that they had on the cover fire only had that Car 98 in hand. Unfortunately, that is not the perfect weapon when you're going for cover fire. You're not quite able to get all these shots to connect to. You know, that also played a little bit of a part, but still. It's not the ideal weapon, especially when you're going for the cover fire. We did lose Shockwave in the background. They did go out early on in Hacienda del Patron. Game Lords find themselves in the vicinity. The match will be going in for the third party, but Dagestan 7-7 already looking to get out of there. The Golden Mirado did get exploded before any of the fights got started, and we tend to see that happen quite a lot. You know, you do not want that team to rotate. Like, you know, like if at all I go out here in in Hacienda del Patron, I want to make sure that you guys do not get out of here too, and that is what the side there of Shockwave I've just done to the side of Dagestan. Did see Dagestan win that first game of the game though, so we know that they're heading into this game with a whole lot of momentum. Feeling very confident on that one. Game Lord, they did land in San Martin. To see Rob still out there in the vicinity. Unicorns of Love, we saw them in a little bit of an engagement. This time they're able to come in with their full squad. Zadira though, running into a little bit of a rotational cluster with the side there of Team GQ. It's going to be Korka, the first man getting spotted as Zadira will take in some shots towards him. Zadira, you just found a vehicle. Head out of there, but man, it does look like he's very interested in those early engagements. Korka, I do not know what that man has got in mind. He has a vehicle, but he's decided to run away from this one on foot. Limbo Boom might just be able to find that off angle as Korka takes some shots towards the side there of Dagestan 7-7, and Korka will continue to use his foot to try to see if he can run away from this one. But Limbo Boom is going to run into that off angle, takes a couple of shots, finds him slipping. But Korka is excellent on that return fire. He's doing it a whole lot of work. Korka down to a slither of HP and would eventually go down. But here comes Game Lord with that third party that we spoke about. Victor taking in some shots towards Limbo Boom, not quite able to get that man down, as Dagestan would increase that elimination count to 5. We see why that man left that vehicle now. He was smoking up. Pulling over down to that southern edge where we've got Unicorns of Love going out against the side of Konina Power, who are down by 2. Unicorn of Love, they've got a full squad. They're also down by 2, but they've got 2 players still out here in the vicinity. Konina Power, though, they've got players closer, and they're very aware of the positions coming through from the side there of Unicorn of Love. No, she's got an off angle. Smoke's being deployed, as Suave is the man to grab the revives for the side of Unicorns of Love. But no, she would eventually get spotted. Songori would find that off angle. And I believe that is exactly what they need. They should have all eyes on the compound now. But Unicorns of Love able to grab that revive up onto 2, which would mean they're still in this fight as a 3-man squad. Michi getting revived now. Konina Power playing this a little bit carefully. Songori is able to get that thirst. They know exactly who they're up against now. Unicorn of Love, Beast is does got closer with a grenade. He's able to get that one to connect, leaving his teammates to deal with that man, Songori. Songori will eventually go down. Another grenade being sent out is wonderful by Beast, as he might just have to go over the ridge line to get this thirst. He has to wait for his teammate, and that is exactly what he's doing. Konina Power in a world of hurt right now, but Pelucci, that grenade is most likely the last line of action that he's got. As we can see, Suave. Michi, though, on that off angle is wonderful. He does get spotted. He's going to be able to complete the flank, as he's going to lay that cover fire for his teammates, taking in the shots towards the direction. But Konina Power looking to commit to his position instead. The Beast, he knows exactly where they are. Lets the grenade out, but it's not going to be enough to connect. Pelucci is still looking for that one player, not quite able to find him. More Molotovs being sent out. And Konina Power playing this defense very wonderfully. It's interesting to see that they've not gone out to Michi just yet, as Beast also looking to get yet another off angle. Suave. And this is the situations where I like to say you do not need to do all of this. This is already getting too much. The flank angle not really needed anymore. All you just have to do is full send it, just like Suave is doing. Trying to see if he can get a couple of shots to connect. Pelucci will get spotted in the smoke, and down he will go. As Obaldui, once again, the last player for that team, having to hold his own in a 1v3 situation. Here comes the Unicorns as they send it to that position. Peace does drop from that buggy. The pre-fires are coming in through. Obaldui not quite able to get it to connect. Down to a little bit of HP. He's able to get one player down from the Unicorns. Sees Michi coming in from the side, but he's not having enough HP to do that one, as the Unicorns increase that elimination count to 6 as they continue stronger than ever in the lobby out here in Miramar. Zone out there in the center of the circle, the center of the map, towards that water treatment area. We do see Hacienda del Patron being heavily favored, with the side of Dagestan still in the vicinity. Game Lord, same thing can be said about them. A part of me actually feels like Dagestan might just be able to get that back-to-back winner chicken dinner, because we can already see them getting started already so well in this game. You know, getting those early eliminations in the game, you know, is something that we want to see. But now we do see Sly Europe in the lobby, the team that I really wanted to see them. At least now we see what their insignia is. I actually want to see if it is different from the other Sly machines, you know. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what is going on. We do see Team GQ. They're still alive with 3. Korka being the only player that went out in that early skirmish. ARR also looking for a way into that circle. They're out here with Elementrix, Beck, Habez, and Tapok. Looking to play things a little bit quietly out there, going close to the center of the circle. We get another zone shift, more moving to that western edge, favoring the water treatment. And if you know this water treatment, you know it's not the best of positions. This is a very crazy circle. Side, because you know there's low sides, and that is exactly what you can see the Gaimin Gladiators they're looking towards. They're trying to see, and this is a situation. What this player is doing here is trying to just know his area, right? Know exactly where you can shoot at, who you can see, where you can see. You know, try to gather that much information on the lobby in order to make sure that if things starts to get crazy, you know exactly how you're going to make it into the circle. Dagestan will lose one player to Game Lords. Out there in the center of the circle there, or sorry, on that southern edge. Love, this team's already finding a way into the circle. 13 teams still alive. Team Codex out there on that southwestern edge of the circle, where we see Team Doom getting into trouble on the north with the side of ARR. These are two teams that are just coming into the lobby from Group E. Phantom is down. He will get revived just alright, but that doesn't quite take away the trouble as Mujekilinho, Mujekilinho is in a whole lot of trouble. After holding up to the 1v1, going for the swivel, left, right, not quite enough, as he would eventually get felled by Tapok. That was a beautiful strafe coming through from him, but unfortunately the shots will not connect just as beautifully. Would eventually go down. The rest of Team Doom looking to find a way into the circle, as they would leave that fight alone, heading straight into the water treatment. As much as I want to call it a good play, it's almost like you're going from frying pan to fire, because it's not any better in the circle, you know. But who knows, these teams, they usually have a plan that I cannot fathom, so I would not be surprised to actually see them, you know, do so well in the circle. And already see Sly having a little bit of eye on the side of Team Doom as they see them coming into the circle, and this is what I was saying. But thankfully for the side of Team Doom, they're able to find a good spot. Sly, on the other hand, Sly Europe. Man, this is hard. I'm not gonna lie. This is actually hard. But anyway, Sly Europe, we're looking forward to see what they've got in mind. As we do see a little bit of some of those teams coming in from that eastern edge. A lot of trouble on that east. See the side of Team Nexus, yet another team. And man, is it just me, or all the teams that have just come into the lobby, all the teams in Group E, they happen to be teams that are, you know, heavily centered on that eastern edge. You know, we've been seeing them so much on that east, especially in this Miramar game. You know, they're just holding it up on that east. They've all been on the east all day. But anyway, speaking of the east, Nexus, we get started with the guys there from Sly. And this is what I was talking about. They get that first knock, and you can tell that that is all they want. That is all they need. They're sending it straight into the circle. I do not know where this render is from, but I hope it does clear up. It is from the fact that my phone is low and not charging, which is weird, because it's connected. Alright, there we go. We're back to normal. One second. I'm going to take you guys to the emulator while I try to figure out what is wrong with my phone. Anyway, we're going to be pulling over back to the side of Team Nexus as they find themselves in a whole lot of trouble. It's already getting started out there. Team Doom also in trouble with the side there of ARR, as ARR do commit fully to the fight. Goldie not quite able to get one knockdown, but Phantom is going to be there to do the work. And it is now Habe is in a 1v2 situation, goes for the push, but the drop shots from Phantom is wonderful to take that man by surprise. Starpog, the player on the off angle, will be the last player there for ARR, as the side there of Sly Europe reflects, having a very deadly angle on the bottom of that sports truck. Kapahala not quite aware, and we just see Reflect just holding it up. I think at this point they will just be confused, like, who's refreshing these smokes? That must be so funny. They're like, whose smoke is this? They're like, I don't know, isn't it your smoke? No, it's not my smoke. But anyway, Team Doom still looking to grab those thirsts out there on that northern edge, and it does look like that rotation that they went through did pay out for them. I'm still looking forward to seeing what Reflect is going to do, but it looks like it would eventually get spotted on the bottom of that vehicle. Maybe moved a little too much, and it will go down as Nexus continue. Already up by 2 elims. Apologies for the little disconnect out there. That's what happens when your phone is not charging. I was literally on 1%. That would have been my phone dead, done and dusted. Unicorns of Love, they do lose no shit though, as we see the Gaimin Gladiator getting started. Same thing can be said about the Unicorns of Love, as Beast looking to grab that thirst on behalf of his teammates. We do see the side there of Nexus in a whole lot of trouble. Mitch is the one doing a lot of work. He sees Octavian out there in the smoke. They're out here on that southern edge of the circle. Mad Bulls are also in the vicinity. This is more trouble than they may have anticipated. Michi looking for that off angle, and he will eventually find it, taking a couple of shots. Not quite able to get it to connect, but here comes Sway to complete the work. Beast can also be doing the same thing as he does jump in there, gets the full thirst, and that is going to be the side of Nexus, losing the two that they've got on the off angle. Nexus finding himself in between a rock and a hard place as Unicorns of Love continue with the consistency, with the prowess. Mad Bulls to take out the side there of Nexus Gaming, and I do not know, are Unicorns of Love aware of that one? Do they know how many players are knocked out in that position? Michi's got the idea. He knows what is going on, at least faintly. And I don't know, are they going to go for the full send? It does look like the answer is yes, as we see Michi on the back of the buggy sending it through. Pre-fires already coming in through, not quite able to get a knock. Michi. Mad Bulls will lose one more in the side of Tulika. Here comes the push. Jerick out here in the smoke trying to hold it up, but the third party is imminent and he is getting tapped from every single direction, and that is going to be a GG well played as Dagestan puts in the fire, puts in the work onto that position. Unicorns of Love still up by 8 elims. Now Unicorns of Love are the team that has got the momentum heading into this game. My goodness. We've been having the wrong match number all day. Wow. Anyway, we do see all those push coming in through the side there of Team Doom, putting a whole lot of work as they see ARR trying to make it into the circle. They're waiting for those shots to come in through, but we do see the side of Team GQ already up to 5 elims. Looking at the side of Dagestan Esports, grenades being sent out by Tofiz, exposing himself a little too much. It's wonderful grenades, but he's not quite able to get that thirst, nor a second knock, as Zadira will eventually get revived by Shifu. And this position maybe not the best actually for all of these teams. Gaimin Gladiators still alive in this circle as they continue to watch all of these teams rotate into the circle now. Team GQ now, they are aware of Team Doom who are making it into the circle. And Unicorns of Love continue to take out every single stray member in the circle. Excuse me now, finding a way into the circle. Furia is able to make it to the hay bales, but that is not the best of position as the side there of Dagestan, they've got eyes. They are entirely seeing everybody in the circle, at least everyone on that southern edge of the circle. Same thing can be said about Unicorns of Love as they continue to swipe those eliminations coming through from the knocks of Dagestan. Unicorns of Love looking to make it into the circle from that northern edge. Excuse me, Furia, the last player left is being baited by grenades as Beast has decided to focus heavily on that man Furia. More grenades landing into that location, and Furia, he can only do so much. All he can just do is continue to smoke up in that position, but man, Beast is chunking out everything that he's got, sending in all sorts of grenades, the no-look ones, the look ones, but they will get third-partied from the side. Team Doom, they've had enough of the unicorns. They're coming in for the knock. 2 players down for the unicorns, and Kraken is cracked, trying to see if he can get that third player. He's up in a 1v1 and is able to get Beast down. Wonderful, as Team Doom send out the unicorns. They're like, the unicorns, you've done a lot of work, you've made enough noise, now it's the time to take you out. But man, we've not really spoken about them. It's going to be Gaimin Gladiators, already up by 6 elims, 5 courtesy of Tixie, and now they focused on the side there of Game Lords in that little shack that they find themselves. Team GQ also in a whole lot of heart, as now they're taking in shots from the top of the hill. Gaimin Gladiators, they see them. But now that zone moves up towards the side of Gaimin Gladiators. They are heavily favored by that circle, as we see Dagestan finding their way to the circle also from that southern edge. Cracking, that man, we've established that he is cracked. But can he launch this grenade straight into the side of, excuse me, I think these are one of those nades where you might actually need to add a little bit of jump to it. But it doesn't look like that is what he's doing. Team GQ though, able to make it into the compound, but they're very close to the side there of Dagestan. Dagestan refusing to go out in this game, continuing with that consistency. Shifu still alive out here with Zadira. That man Zadira, we can establish that that man is really a fragger. He's already up by elims, 3 elims. Looking to try to see if he can cover the back for his teammates. Same thing can be said about Keep. But Team Doom, it's only a matter of time before they start to make it into the circle, and they would start that play up towards that southern edge. Furia in a whole lot of trouble. He may have heard Goldie, And he's already loading up a grenade to that position. Goldie trying to see if he can gather information. Gaimin Gladiators from the top of the hill. They're doing a whole lot of work. It's a wonderful nade from Furia up onto Goldie. And Furia will be looking to increase the kill count for his team. Finally getting one for his team. He's going to get the thirst. But the side of Team Doom, they're not happy about that one. Evo Station and the side of Team GQ start to push onto the side of Dagestan, and it would eventually work out. 10 elims up onto the side of GQ. And this is the team that we know about, adding a little bit of BM to that crate. Maybe not at the right period of time, but he's doing it still. Team Gaimin Gladiators now, they might just be the next in line for the side of Excuse Me, but it looks like Tixie's got it covered. 6 eliminations to that man, 7 for the team. And it does look like Gaimin Gladiator, they've got the best position in the circle. Going for that very long split is wonderful too. But I think it's a little too early. But man, we do know the caliber of teams that they have, or sorry, the caliber of players that they have on that squad. So we know that it is possible for them to hold such splits and still stay alive. It looks like Tixie might find himself in a 1v2 situation, almost making that a sandwich, sending out some grenades, some pre-nades, waiting for that push. And it does see that takes one player down. It's good for one and make that two. Tixie is absolutely excellent on that one. And I said that team, Gaimin Gladiators, we know they've got the right caliber of players. They can hold up the split and nothing is going to happen. Tixie's been absolutely on fire. But Team GQ, they've got just as much momentum with Evo Station still alive, launching those grenades towards Tixie. And it's wonderful to get Tixie down. Gaimin Gladiators lose one. Down to the final 3. Mercury is aware of that push coming in through. But man, Game Lords, they might just be the ones to play spoiler on this fight. Team GQ though, finding himself in a whole lot of trouble. Mercury sending in a whole lot of nades. And this is what I was talking about. Game Lords, they can come in for the third party of the century. They've got only one elim so far. But they've got all sorts of eyes on the side there of Team GQ. Situations where your wolf is the one who's obstructing you right now. Narvalo taking shots from every single part. That rock is absolutely not enough to hold him. I said that man, he's the main spoiler for the side of Team GQ. It does look like Gaimin Gladiators would be able to grab that revive up onto Tixie. Narvalo gets Scott peeking. Victor staying very quiet, but they do not have the circle. 12 seconds on the clock, and that zone is going to start to move. Gaimin Gladiators, Kitsune on the top of the hill. He's got his eyes fixated on the side there of Game Lords, letting those shots fly, looking for the taps. He's able to get a couple to connect. But the Gaimin Gladiators, they've got the best positions in the circle. They're going to form up on each other, which is nice. And we can already see them trying to gather a lot of information coming into this game. Victor is going to overpeak and he will get taken out by the side of Team GQ or make that Narvalo. Victor is the last player left. Team GQ now looking to take 2 fights at the same time as Evo Station finds a way into the circle. But that man, he has to make sure the Game Lords are out. They must make sure they're done and dusted. And they would indeed be done. Here comes Team GQ coming in from that western edge. It's a nice push coming in through, but they're in the blue. Trying to take in a couple of shots. Game Lords, oh sorry, make that Team GQ. They lose 2 and it's now a 1v1. It's Evo Station up against Matic, but Evo Station not enough HP. Matic realizes that one, goes for the push, and the Gaimin Gladiators would get that winner chicken dinner. Losing no player, but man, Tixie, boy did he carry. 8 elims to his name. The team finishing with 12 eliminations to go alongside it. But man, Gaimin Gladiators, we spoke about them. We're like, Gaimin Gladiators, are they going to let the name, are they going to let, you know, the change of name, the change of org, you know, change of everything, are they going to let it affect? And that answer apparently is no, as they come in just as strong as they've always been. 12 eliminations and the winner chicken dinner. You just love to see it. Tixie was on a rampage, and that man continued to show it till the end. And at the end of the day, when it was down to Matic to hold down the fort, he definitely brought that game home. Team GQ in second place with a performance that I absolutely can't even beat them down for. That is a wonderful and excellent finish coming through from them as they finish in second place with 11 eliminations to their name. That was a beautiful push that they did go, that they opted for onto the side there of Gaimin Gladiators, but unfortunately they just had to crash into that blue zone. With the blue zone chunking a whole lot of your HP, it doesn't quite put you up in a very good advantage when you're going up against the likes of Gaimin Gladiators. Team Game Lord able to make it in third place with only 1 elimination coming through from Navalo. maybe not the best of finishes, and this is what we start to talk about, those elims. You need to start balancing those eliminations with the placements. Team Doom in 4th place with 6 eliminations, in 5th place with 1, the side of Dagestan. 77 in 6th place with 6 elims, maybe not too bad. Unicorns of Love in 7th place with 9 eliminations. And Unicorns of Love, they were also on fire, but man, when it came down to it, the side there of Team Boom, or Team Doom actually, they were like, you know what, Unicorns of Love, we've had enough of you. Now is the time to go back into the lobby. And that was a wonderful push that we saw coming through from Kraken, and he was definitely able to send that team back into the lobby. Team Codex in 8th place with no eliminations. ARR Esports in 9th place with 1. Mad Bulls in 10th place with 2 elims, courtesy of Like. Side there of Nexus in 11th place with 3. The side there of Dark Project in 12th place with 4. Sly Europe, Sly Europe, yeah, I believe, in 13th place with no elims. Konina Power in 14th place with 1. Side there of Alpha 7, Alpha Sedge in 15th place with 1 elim. The side there of Shockwave going out early in 16th place with no eliminations to their name. And ladies and gentlemen, that was a beautiful Miramar game, to say the least. And that is Miramar as we know it. Miramar will start off all quiet, although this Miramar was not quiet at any time, any point in time. It started off as crazy and it eventually ended up as crazy. I know many of you are waiting for this, but yes, the leaderboards from the first game are ready, so we're going to be seeing the standings as at the end of that first game, where we do see the side there. Maybe see the side there of Dagestan in first place, 23 points they were able to get from that one game, and now they're adding a couple of more from this Miramar game, which will be ready in a matter of time. Team Codex in 2nd place, in 3rd, Major Pride in 4th, Alpha 7, 5th, Shockwave in 6th place, Unicorns of Love, and it's still quite close out here, but man, look at that gap. There's a 13-point gap between Dagestan and Team Codex, and now Gaimin Gladiators getting that winner chicken dinner. They had only 1 point before, but now it's going to push them to the top of the leaderboards. How well it's going to push them, we'll be waiting to see, as we have to get into the next game of the day. We're heading back into the early holy grounds of Erangel. So that being said, stay safe, stay connected. I'll be right back in a matter of minutes, not even up to minutes. I might be back quicker than you expect. So that being said, do not go anywhere. Drop a like on the stream if you've not, and I love the activity I'm seeing in the chat. Continue to spam your support. I'll be right back. And we are back. Welcome back to the Lidoma Pubg Mobile Invitational Twist. My name is Crowns, and I have taken you through the first two games of the day. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, time indeed does fly. We've gone through the first two games of the day, and now we're about to get into that next game of the day. Man, we did see a beautiful gameplay coming through from the side of Gaimin Gladiators. Man, they were a team we were not even really talking about when we started to look at that next Erangel game. But man, when it came down to it, they showed us that they knew exactly what they were doing. That was wonderful gameplay coming through from them. They played it quietly, but man, when it was time for them to frag out, they indeed actually showed us that they know how to frag out. So that being said, congratulations to them for bringing that second game home. Man, we are about to head into the third game and the halfway point of today. And man, we're going back into Erangel, where it's going to start to get crazy. The leaderboards after that Miramar game will be available before the end of this next Erangel game. But man, you remember what I said about mistakes? That is one thing I'm looking forward to seeing. Because like I said, mistakes that you made going or coming from that first game, definitely not going to be the same mistakes that you're going to be making when we start to look at this next game of the day, or next Erangel game of the day. But man, for this Erangel game, we're going to be having this groups there from Group C sitting that one out, and it's going to be none other but, excuse me, sitting out. Shockwave is going to be sitting out. The side of Unicorns of Love would sit out, and I know many of you are not happy to hear this, but Gaimin Gladiators would also be sitting out from this third game of the day, as we're going to be seeing Group E and Group D come back to come and show us, or make that Group D actually coming back to show us that, you know what, we're ready for yet another Erangel game, and we're ready to give it all that we've got. It's going to be none other but Major Pride, Sly Europe, the Muerte and Sly Machines, the Muerte and Team Kasik will be the ones that are coming back into the game. So Sly Machine has got Sly Europe has got Sly. This is going to be very confusing, but we're going to be running through it regardless, because that is exactly what we are built for. But that being said, waiting forward to see how they're going to play in this next Erangel game. And without further ado, Shade Adu, Ulabalu, Oititoiti, and Shikrimidi, we're going to be getting into the next game of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Erangel. And this time, it's a fair playing path. It's a better playing path, actually, taking us all the way from the shorelines of Muerte Power up onto that northern outskirts of Jojopo. So yeah, we love to see that one. If you're a team that even wants to go to Zarki, you know you're good. I feel like with this playing path, every one of this team can head over to whatever position they want to actually get into. Like I said, we're going to be seeing a couple of teams sitting this one out. So yeah, those teams that are sitting that one out, they definitely be watching that. Oh, this would have been a very wonderful flight path for me to actually play in. But man, you can only wish. And this time you just have to keep watching and gather more information about how all of these teams are playing, because like it or not, there is still one more Erangel game before we close off the day. And that being said, this is the third game of the day. It's Erangel. After this game, we still have another Miramar match. So man, do not go anywhere, do not fret, do not get scared, because guess what, we're still in for a treat. So that being said, get ready. Everybody's already jumping off. I expect not to see the same hot drops that I did see going into that first game. As you can already see, these teams a little bit spread out now. We see the side of Nexus going all the way to Muerte Power. The Muerte looking for a way up to Lipovka. Game Lords finding a way out there to Yasnaya Poliana. That zone moves all the way to that western edge. Alpha 7 going all the way to South Jojopo like they normally will. I mean, they were in North Jojopo normally, but it does look like, yeah, they are still in North Jojopo. But Konina Power still looking to head towards that South Jojopo area. This time they do not have the side there of, who was it? Excuse me with them. So which is nice to see. ARR finding a way out there to Pochinki. I think the same thing can be said about Team Kasik, who find themselves also in that vicinity. So we're going to be heading over there, kind of see exactly what they've got going on out there in Pochinki. But we've got Major Pride also out here in the school area alongside the side there of Dagestan Esports. And man, woo, wow. Wow. Anyway, let's get into it. We're waiting for this engagement, and man, school engagements are the worst. I promise you. It's not the best place you want to be. It gets very crazy. It's not very easy to take that fight. You know, everybody's acting weird. You know, yeah, there's too many dirty angles out there in the school area, so maybe not the best of positions that you want to be in, especially in a hot drop situation. Marbles out there in Rozok, they might just play spoiler onto the players there for that find themselves in school. And one thing we know is that if you're in Rozok, you can literally hear when the shot starts to fly in the school area. So yeah, Dagestan still alive on this one. They're currently in the apartment area of the map. Sadira moving a little bit carelessly though, but does look like he's aware of what he's doing. Major Pride have got one player in the outskirts in Dino, trying to see if he can find that off angle. And Zadira will eventually get spotted behind that fence. I think that information is going to fly out to Dino, but unfortunately that man doesn't quite have all the angles that he may want onto that position. Major Pride not quite looking to capitalize on that first damage that they've done. Man, what is this period of? Alright, he's not doing it anymore. But anyway, it does look like Nomi is pushing up. Same thing can be said about Spectre, pushing up into the apartment area. And Dagestan Esports, Dagestan 77, pardon me, looking stronger, looking to defend this position as they continue to push players aside. They've only got 2 players in the main buildings of the apartment. Mena is gotten that information. He knows it's not all 4 players that are here. Spectre still downstairs, trying to see how much information they can gather. Dagestan, they've got Keep and Limbo Boom just out there on that last floor of the building. The pre-fires will come through. These are situations where we start to ask for the M249s. They move on by the door. Those grenades would not be landing towards this position. Monkey still holding it up, and this is where it starts to get tricky. Shifu trying to see if he can come in for the cover or for the support. Does hear that man know me. Still got a grenade prepped, sends it out. It's wonderful. The intro knock is there, and Dagestan looking to have that advantage on that fight against the side there of Major Pride. Free fires will be coming in through as the rest of Dagestan find their way in. The Mad Bulls, they hear it, and here comes Dagestan. All players downstairs now. Here comes the full send. A shot will be coming in through with that Honey Badger. It's wonderful. Dagestan looking strong, but at the same time they're losing players one after the other. Spectre is gonna go down. Monkey, the last player left for Major Pride, and he will eventually get taken out as Mad Bulls coming for that third party. But Dagestan able to get all 4 eliminations, and they're able to stay up as a full squad. And man, Dagestan is definitely just good, man. That good is just good. Somebody says effect is Spectre in Major Pride. Well, Major Pride just got taken out, but whatever. Anyway, Dagestan holding it up, even spread amongst all players as they all have 1 elimination to their name. Mad Bulls not going to fully commit to that fight. And this is awareness at its finest. We do see the side there of ARR Esports finding it straight into the center of the circle. Nice play, to say the least. Cannot blame them for that one. That is good play. Leaderboard's currently updated. Given that we don't have any action looming at the time, we might just take a little bit of a break to show you. See Gaimin Gladiators with that winner chicken dinner already finding their way up to 2nd place. The side there of Dagestan 77, they continue to put up points that is keeping them on the top of that leaderboard, and I'm enjoying that from them. We already see them in this Erangel game gathering as much as 4 aliens to get themselves started. So it's almost like they're giving themselves that boost before they even start, like even before the game fully kicks off. So yeah, it's nice to see Team GQ doing it again with the elims, able to make it to 3rd position. Side there of Unicorns of Love in 4th with that wonderful boom of the game that they had in Erangel, in Miramar, able to get themselves up to that 3rd position, 4th position, excuse me, in 5th, with Team Codex following just right behind them in 6th place. Team Dream in 7th, Alpha 7 in 8th place, and I think they're sitting out this game if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, actually they're not. They are in this game, sorry about that, pardon me. think the next game is the one they're sitting out of. But yeah, they are in this game, still seated in 8th position with Major Pride in 9th. And given that Major Pride just went out early, that definitely doesn't spell so well for them, as they would eventually get taken out. But anyway, there's the leaderboard. Shockwave in 12, 11, Dark Project, he just goes down. The Muerte, Nexus Gaming. And I must say, it is surprising to see Nexus Gaming in such position in the game. You know, I'd expect that, you know, they'll be a little bit higher. Same thing about Kasik, you know, even the Mad Bulls. You know, I'd expect to see these teams, you know, be in higher positions in the game. But well, maybe they're just taking their time. They're being late bloomers. But man, out here on the top of Potato Hill, we've got Sly. I don't know if it is the machines or if this is Europe, but we've got one of the Slies out here. You know what? I can actually know which one of them they are. I'm just being lazy. But anyway, this is Sly Europe actually going up against the side there of, I believe that is Team Codex on Potato Hill. Potato Hill is big enough to accommodate both teams, but it does look like none of them are in that sharing mood, with Folly getting closer and closer. A little bit of trouble out there in the center of the circle too, where we've got the side of Team Kasik getting started with ARR. Mad Bull's also in the vicinity as Fly Q does come in. Takes a couple of pre-fires. This is where we lost, or somewhere around here was where we lost Alpha 7 in that first game, hence why they're not here. But you love to see that one. Mad Bull's going in for that full send. They've got one Elim in the side of Frozen. Going in for that full send up onto Team Kasik. Flyke almost gets caught with that grenade in hand, but you just love to admire the play coming in through from Team Kasik here. A Striker is going to be that one player still alive. Pre-fires coming in through. Striker coming in from the outside. Does get spotted by Tunika, and he will go down as Team Kasik lose 2 players now. Almost 3 players, as we've got ARR also in the vicinity, putting in the pre-fires and the third party of the century. Not going to be enough to take down any more players from Team Kasik or even the Mad Bulls to get his zone shifted all the way to that northwestern edge. Potato Hill, we still have those 2 teams out there, as you see a lot of teams actually trying to make it into that circle from that eastern edge. Game Lords being one of them, running into that rotational coaster with the side of Team Codex. A lot of players very low on HP, and Robs would be the one to take down one of the players, with Folly also getting taken out from that side. It's an excellent snipe coming through from Victor. And that is Game Lords looking to get more eliminations in this game. We did not see them up that elimination factor in that last game, but this time it does look like they've got that in check as they continue to increase that elimination count. I think they're up to 3 now. Sly Machines, sorry, make that Sly Europe, still out here on Potato Hill. They did lose 1 player, so maybe a small price to pay for salvation as they are heading out of there. A whole lot of trouble in the center of the circle. We're talking about none other but Mount Everest, where we've got Alpha 7 going up against the side of Mad Bulls. Revo does look to be doing a whole lot of damage onto the side of Mad Bulls with the grenades. It looks like Tulika and Flyke will be alright. He's able to carry him to this position. You love to see it, using that carry function wonderfully well. But it's a whole lot of trouble out there on that northern edge of the circle. So we just see the Mad Bulls chilling for that one. But Alpha 7, they have to ward off the side of Konina Power too, as all of these teams are finding their way into the circle. Konina Power still offers a full squad, and I promise you they can be so dangerous when we start to look at them heading into that circle. Pedrinho is able to still get 1 more knock, but Carillo has to hold on his own. Frozen is going to be there, but man, Carillo up in a 1v3 situation is able to hold up, do a little bit of damage onto Pelucci, but it's not enough as he's now down. Senna is there to grab the revive, and Pedrinho might just have to form up closer on his team, as now they will be getting pushed up. Do see the push coming in through. Senna very low on HP, is able to get 1 player down, continues with that revive, as Konina Power now currently being halted on that push. We do see the grenades coming in, and Senna is going to be the one to go down. The Molotov to follow suit is going to get Carillo down, and Pedrinho is going to be the last player left for that squad, trying to see if he can hold it up. And he's going on in that 1v1 against Pelucci, but it's not enough as Pelucci is going to take him down. But the Mad Bulls are here for the third party. Here they come with Zerich leading the push, taking in a couple of shots. There's third parties so imminent everywhere in this circle as the Sly EU coming from behind, but they would eventually get taken out by the side of Team Kasik from the bottom of the hill. This is absolutely chaotic As we see the push coming in through with the auto shotty in the hands of Obaldui, it's going to increase that elimination count onto the side there of Team Konina Power to 6. They continue the shot. Obaldui will be the last player left once again for the side there of Konina Power, as they succumb to that third party coming in through from the side there of the Mad Bulls, who are up to 6 elims now. All players still alive. Definitely not so fun for the side there of Konina Power. Not exactly the way they would have wanted things to end on that part of the circle, but it does look like they'll be fine with just the one player. They've got a couple of eliminations too, so you know, maybe not too bad. Maybe it's not too bad for them as a team, as we do see rotations coming in through from the side there of Team Codex, making it, finding their way into that circle. Mad Bulls are going to be the kings of they're going to be the kings of the mountain, or the kings of the hill. Team GQ still alive in this one, holding it up on that outskirts of the ruins area. They're seated centered, or they're actually centered very well in that circle. So we do know that they're chilling, having a little bit of fun. I will still wait for engagements to get started. ARR also still in that vicinity, playing it very carefully. The center of that circle, still looking strong. We do spot the side there of Team Nexus out there in the side there of Abyss. And the side of ARR, I would actually suggest that they start to get more aggressive, you know, start to put in more work, you know, because you cannot continue to sleep on those elims. You need to start getting those elimination points as fast as possible. But while we're going to hold up on that, we do see Dagestan getting started with the side of Game Lords. As we see that zone now, pushing in closer and closer. Centering up, and this is why everyone seemed to want that Mount Everest. Because you can see it's just seated right there in the center of the circle. And our Team Doom going in for that push, as we see Phantom getting that first knock and confirm onto the side of ARR. As Madness try to see if he can get out of there, actually make that dark project. They do lose 2, but they're able to return the favor, getting that wonderful trade in. And here comes the full send. The third party is imminent. Doom are going to lose one more. Mujekilinho would be the last player left for his team. And here comes the players there from the Dark Projects coming to complete the fight. And it does look like Vanesca, he knows exactly what that player is doing. He sees him on the run, takes in a couple of shots, but not enough, as Mujekilinho, he's a wonderful driver. He's going to be driving himself out of harm's way and getting out of there. The muerte, though, looking to come in for that third party onto the side there of Dark Project. Dark Project down to just 2. See my man Dwan in the chat. See. But anyway, the side of Dark Project still looking to hold up on that southeastern edge of the circle. It might not just play out so well for them. They need to get out of there as soon as possible. But the same thing can be said about the Muerte. They need to get into that circle. Trouble on that east. As we do see the Game Lords getting started with Dagestan, who going for that full send. Keep trying to see if he can hold on his own. As Libo Boom continues to take in a couple of shots, Robs is holding it up. That man has got the Devil's Weapon in hand. And in case you do not know what that weapon is, it is none other but that LMG MG3. We see that man already taking fire from the top of the hill. Dagestan holding it up. And it's wonderful grenades coming in through from Robs. Victor, though, is able to get one to connect through. But Team Nexus are here for the third party. Keep is going to hear that one. Same thing can be said about the side there of Dagestan. Limbo Boom picks it to be too hard, and Victor is able to find his head through the door. And Team Nexus are here for the support, or make that the third party. But Grim Lords, they're looking for a way to clear this one as quickly as possible. You see them coming in from the side. Keep is going to be the last player left for Dagestan Esport. Is going to get felled. And here comes Team Nexus. They know exactly what's just happening in that building. And you can already see them just finding a way in. Pre-fires are coming in through with Octavian on that off angle. Sorry, make that... oh, no, actually, Octavian getting that first knock. Kimi looking for that player, Akashi, who likes to go for the off angle, but Akashi will go down. And the side there of Team Nexus continue up on the fight. Kimi going for that full send. Victor is going to be the last player left. Octavian is aware. The auto shot in hand from Kimi is not quite able to get Victor down yet. But Victor would eventually fall as the side there of Nexus coming at the right of time. Or at the right time, the rightest of time. No, the most. You know what? They come in accurately for that third party, and it works out quite alright for them. That is wonderful gameplay coming through from the side of Nexus. And now they freed up that southern edge of the circle. You can already see them just heading into that circle slowly but surely, making it into the ruins area. As that zone does look to be almost a repeat of what we saw in that first game of the day. Everyone on Mount Everest is like, if we had known Maybe we shouldn't have just gone out in in Mount Everest, but man. Anyway, it does look like Mount Everest is going to be the place that pulls off so many of those teams. Eventually getting chunked out of that blue zone or out of that play zone. Side of ARR, they've been playing this in a way I don't like, out there on that southern edge of the circle. They still have 0 elims to their name, and they did have a whole lot of team around them, but unfortunately we're not quite able to capitalize on that factor as we just see them finding a way into the circle. Still 0 eliminations to their name as the Muerte deciding to go in for that rotation from that blue zone. Did not pay out too well for them. They would eventually get taken out. Sad, but I think that's where we find ourselves. Team GQ though, still looking towards the side of the Mad Bulls, looking at how they want to make it into that circle. To see a couple of shots coming in through the Muerte, losing players to that blue zone as they find a way into the circle. We're down to the final 8 teams. Nexus Gaming though, looking to welcome all of these teams into this lobby as we do see trouble on the south. It's going to be the Muerte looking at the side of ARR Esport as they make it into the circle. Maldi facing up against Tapok out here. He knows exactly where that player is, sends a grenade to his position. I'm going to be able to find that grenade to connect. Gets into the vehicle, trying to get out of here. And Maldi going from frying pan to fire, but that was needed because the side there of Team Nexus were just pulling up right behind him. And Nexus, you know there is actually trouble when you see Team Nexus doing in a whole lot of work and Kapahala does not even have any elim, because we know how crazy that man Kapahala can be. And man, seeing that he doesn't have any elim at this point, it is scary because you just get to know that the side there of Team Nexus are not done and they come in driving like madmen as Kimi gets that one knock, goes for the instant thirst. 7 elims already to the name for the side of Team Nexus, and they're absolutely on fire. Kapahala now, he's gotten his first elim, and now you know that things are just beginning to go back to default setting for the side of Team Nexus as Team GQ now looking to take on the remaining 2 players from the side of ARR Esports. They hear that rotation coming in through, but they're not quite able to stop it yet. AZ trying to see if he can find those shots, but he's not able to quite find any. It's trouble on the south. ARR Esports capitalizing on peaking that rotation first as they try to make it into the circle. Team Nexus though, on the other hand, they want the elims, and we can just see them sending it straight into the side there of Team GQ, or make that, yeah, actually Team GQ. But DMR though, the military is able to put in a whole lot of work. Kimi does get spotted though by AZ. Would not get taken down just yet. Team GQ favoring those elimination points as much as possible. We do see Octavian trying to just send those players away from there. It's going to work as the side there of Nexus now down to the final 3 players. They lost only 1 in all that engagement, but it does look like they will be fine. On the top of Mount Everest is still Flyke, who's got his eyes on the side of ARR. Konina Power does get sent back into the lobby, and the same thing will be said about ARR in a matter of time. Zerich is aware of that position coming in through, and he definitely knows that Habiz is out there somewhere. Not quite able to get that knock yet. Whole lot of trouble going through. Team GQ though getting started as we see Evo Station getting that knock on that western edge of the make that eastern edge of the circle against the side of Team Nexus. It does look like this might just be the end of their run. The play zone is going to start to move anytime soon. And man, we just see Evo Station taking in a couple of shots, not quite able to get the knockdown as he's the last player left for his team GQ. Nexus, are they aware of that? They have to get that revives up, or sorry, they have to get their health bars back up with Kapahala and Octavian, 2 very strong players still alive for that team. It does look like they're not going in for that full send yet. I'm not sure they're really aware. The shots are going to come through. Kapahala is going to get felled by Evo Station, but the Devil's Weapon in the hand of Octavian would increase that elimination count to 11. I don't know if that revive is going to come through so nicely, because that man is just going to get felled by the blue zone the instant he touches him. Nexus has to get away into the circle. Kapahala, unfortunately, this might just be the end of his run. That man running for his life, trying to make it into the circle, and it looks like he might just survive. He will. He makes it safe and sound. Love it. But the Mad Bulls, though, they've got all 3 players still alive, or make that all 4 players still alive in the circle, which means they have that numbers advantage, and they would use it. Holding on the 2-2 split with Flyke being the one in that new circle. Knows exactly that position by Elementrix. I'm kind of surprised that he's not taking any shots. Team Codex still alive. Elementrix getting to the buggy, but Flyke is not going to be able to just stop him here. It's Team Codex They see that player making it into the circle, but man, Flyke's like, nope, way, you're going to fly away from me. I'm going to take you out. 11 eliminations onto the side of Mad Bulls. And I did say it at the beginning of this game, these teams were not actually favoring those elimination points, but right now they're like, no more crowns, we're only looking to get ready. Right now we are ready to start rampaging on the whole lobby, but it looks like they're not doing that the right way. They will lose one more player as they try to regroup. But Nexus though, still alive with 2 players, 11 elimination to the team, 7 in between Octavian and Kapahala themselves. And those 2 players have been showing us just how strong they can be, but they need to get into the circle. There isn't much playable area. The only place that has at least cover is being occupied by the remaining 2 teams in the lobby. Team Codex being one of them. No eliminations to their name so far. But man, it's a wonderful spray coming in through from Orpheus. He's going to be able to get one of the players there from Nexus, as they would eventually get sent back into the lobby. But the Mad Bulls now having to push up against this 2-man squad. It's a 4v2 and they are aware. Zerich looking to just play that bait, trying to see if he can bait single out. And indeed it's going to work. Frozen is going to be the one to find the off angle. He will indeed find it. Up against the side of Team Codex. And he's got grenades in hand. Mad Bulls looking to get this chicken dinner to their name. It's a good one. Orpheus is not going to go down to that grenade. And I'm pretty sure Frozen is wondering how that is possible. Another grenade in the hand. He goes out towards Orpheus. But that man, he's phasing through these grenades like it's nothing. And he's refused to go down. Another one gets sent out by Frozen. It's not going to get Orpheus down. That man is immortal to grenades. Frozen is aware. He's going in for the push in a 1v1 situation. We'll get that player down. He's up. It's good for one. Single on the top of the hill. Or sorry, make that the top of the building. Is aware. Frozen knows. And look at that man just having a whole lot of fun with it. Very low on HP. Will eventually get taken out. And the Mad Bulls would get that third winner chicken dinner of the day. 15 elimination. Making it the most eliminations we have seen ever since the start of the day. The highest we've seen was 13. But the players there from Mad Bulls are like, crowns, hold my beer. I am going to show you that I can make 15. And they're able to do that one in style. Frozen with 5 aliens to his name. Tulika with 3. Flyke with 4. And bro, that team absolutely on fire. Love to see it. Team Codex, they've been doing well when it comes to pushing themselves to the top of the board. But I said it at the beginning. You do not want to be having games where you're finishing in second place with low eliminations. Talk less of 0 elims. You know? So that being said, Team Codex, you need to work on those elimination points, because you cannot continue to play like this. You know, this only gives you 6 points, and that is not even as much points. You know, third place inside of Team Nexus are definitely getting more points than you. Matter of fact, even Konina Power are most likely even going to get just as many points as you guys, if not even more. So Team Codex, I did see you guys frag out, but it's a question of how well can you do it. You need to continue to frag out. So that being said, Team Codex is second place with 0 elims. I'm not actually going to comment that one. Maybe not the best of plays, but well, it happens. It happens. Team Nexus out there in third place. We saw them fragging out, but when it came to it, that rotation into the circle, there was absolutely no position that they could hold. It was quite unfortunate, but it went out in third place, but not quite going out quietly, as they would get 11 eliminations to their name to go alongside it. ARR in fourth place with 1 elim, the side of Team GQ in fifth place with 1 elim. Team Doom in sixth place with 1, the side of Konina Power in seventh place with 6 elims. And I've just got to say this, Konina Power, they've been playing so well today, right? Especially when we start to talk about the elims, right? We see them actually taking all those elims even before they go out, right? And we saw them rack up that elimination point on on Mount Everest, and that was beautiful to see from them. I love to see that one, and that is exactly what I want to continue to see from Konina Power as we head into the final 2 games of the day. The Muerte in 8th place with 4 elims. Game Lord in 9th place with 6 elims. The side there of Team Kasik in 10th place with 1 elim. Dark Project in 11th place with 1. The side of Dagestan 77 finishing in 12th place with 5 elims. And Dagestan, we've been seeing them actually putting the elimination points up on board, which I would commend. But man, you need to start adding up those placement points. Remember, I said it in the beginning, you cannot just allow the fact that you're getting, or you cannot let getting eliminations prevent you from getting, you know, those higher placement points. So that being said, you want to make sure you're also putting in the work when we start to look at the placement. Alpha 7 in 14th place with 0 elims, and the side there of Major Pride going out there in 15th place with 0 eliminations to their name. That is a wonderful gameplay that we've just seen. This Erangel definitely more interesting than that first one. We did see the zone finish around the same place, which kind of makes me just feel like, you know what, in the last Erangel game of the day, right, I feel like all of these teams will just head all the way to the ruins area because they feel like that's where it's going to end. And I think that's what Team Codex did, right? Pretty much making the same mistakes, which I didn't want to happen. They made the same mistake that they made in the first game, first Erangel of the day. Now they've made it again in this game. In the first Erangel of the day, we saw them hold a very good position, you know, expected them to take a whole lot of elims from it, but unfortunately they were not able to capitalize on that one, and they didn't get as much eliminations as they would have wanted to. So that being said, they came into this next Erangel game. I thought they would actually come in with the mindset to frag out, you know, show that aggressive prowess. They had that good position, but unfortunately they were not even able to get any elimination onto it or from it. So Team Codex, you've got to work on that. You need to start upping the eliminations. You're a team that knows how to get into the circle. You know how to get those positional points. But man, the positional points are not the best of points, especially when we start to look at this lobby. But ladies and gentlemen, we've come through the halfway point of the day, which means we have just 2 more games left before we finish, which means we're heading back into the sandy dunes of Miramar. I'll be right back. I've got to get into the next game so we get to see how this is going, and then, you know, see who is going to take this next game of the day. Until then, stay safe, stay connected. I will be right back.
Dead to me, RIP buried. 무리들이 몰려온다 사자해라 미리. Dead to me, RIP buried. 무릎 꿇고 고개 숙여 반성해라 피리. 왜 이래요? 잘못 오셨네요. 상관없는 자에게는 묻지 마세요. 성격 끝이 씻고 and I live to tell the tale. 못이 박히기 했지만 coffin in a nail. Bury so deep in your excrete. 누굴 탓해? 다 네가 한 짓. I've been mute, I've been discreet. 알만한 사람 다 알아 나 in these streets. 시끌벅적, 시끌벅적, 시끌벅적. 동네 시끄럽네요. 시끌벅적, 시끌벅적, 시끌벅적. 화난 사람 많네요. Come hit you and run. They coming for your ransom. 나 어째 call you lawyer. 뭐 막아 can't do nothing for ya. I said come hit you and run. They coming for your ransom. 나 어째 call you lawyer. 뭐 막아 can't do nothing for ya. Dead to me, RIP buried. Angry mom coming for your pitchforks ready. Dead to me with no Hail Marys. 이미 뜯겨버림 없 no casket necessary. 무리들이 몰려온다 사자해라 미리. 무릎 꿇고 고개 숙여 파상해라 피리. 거짓말에 말려버려 왜곡된 사실이. 꽃빛 풀린 말이 되면 너는 내게 시신. 어떡해요 다 걸려버렸네요 요즘이 어떤 시대인데 그런 짓을 해요 망나니처럼 막 나갈 때 언제 꺾으세요 이제와 후회해봐도 달라질 건 없네요 Bury so deep in your excrete 누구 탓해 다 네가 한짓 I've been mute I've been discreet 얼마나 사람 다 알아 나 in these streets
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lidoma Pubg Mobile Invitational Twist. I see a couple of people who are here for me, and I want to cry. Don't do that. But anyway, welcome back to the Lidoma Pubg Mobile Invitational Twist, brought to you by Lidoma Call. My name is Crowns Cast. Okay, my name is Crowns. And yep, I'm going to be running you through. I've been running you through. I told you I was going to be piloting today. You guys thought I was kidding. But here I am. We're about to get into the fourth game of the day. But guess what? It's not the final game of the day, as we've seen only three, which means we've got 2 more games to go. Like I said, there were 5 games to go today. And we've seen 3 with Mad Bulls getting that Erangel game to their name. 15 eliminations, wonderful to see. We saw Dagestan go crazy in the first Erangel game where they won that one. In the second game, we did see the side there of Gaimin Gladiators come through. Mad Bulls now taking the third winner chicken dinner of the day. And that being said, it means we're about to head into the fourth game of the day, where we're going to be seeing Group B sitting out of that one. In case you wonder who is in Group B, who are the teams that are actually sitting out of this one, I'll be showing you in quite a second. It's going to be Group B sitting out, where Mad Bulls, who just won the winner chicken dinner, would be sitting out. The side of Dagestan 77 would also be sitting down or sitting out of that game. Alpha 7 will be sitting out of this game, probably maybe to give them a little bit of time to kind of, get a breather, kind of, breathe, see exactly what they can do, try to understand the lobby a little bit better, because like I said, for them it's a new region, it's new teams, or relatively new teams, so they still have to do. I wouldn't expect them to really pop off, at least not today, but they've been holding up quite nicely. I really wouldn't even tell them they're doing any bad, because we see them sitting quite comfortable on the leaderboards. The guys there from Dark Project, they've not really also shown us what they are capable of doing. So that being said, Dark Project, I want to actually see you guys show up in this game and show me exactly what you're made of. Do not go out early. We've not really seen you guys show us what you can do. But anyway, that being said, Group C is going to be coming back, which means we're going to be having Excuse Me, Shockwave, Unicorns of Love, and the Gaimin Gladiators come back into this lobby. And man, in case you've been watching this game, we've seen Excuse Me show that they have what it takes. Unicorns of Love are showing us they can get those eliminations. The same thing can be said about the Gaimin Gladiators, as they've won even a winner chicken dinner for the whole of today. So the question is are we going to see another winner from this group? I'm looking forward to seeing Shockwave actually doing well, because Shockwave, they're kind of playing like Codex too, right? But maybe they're getting better elims, but still, but like, they're good at getting into the circle, getting those positional points. But man, when we start to talk about getting those elims, they're not doing that. But anyway, we're not going to be talking too much. The game has started. Let's get into it. We'll be seeing Miramar yet again. The playing path this time, maybe not too nice. Far away from El Pozo. Alpha 7 definitely dancing and happy that they're not in this game, because it would have been a huge torture for them to get to a Pozo. But this is one of those deadly, dirty playing paths for the side of Miramar, where all of these teams would have to struggle to make it into the circle, to make it into their comfortable landing location. So I'm looking forward to seeing how some of these teams, especially the ones that like to go towards that El Pozo area, the Crater Fields, La Cabrera, I would like to see how they're going to make it there. Even Chumacera is a little bit far from that playing path. So I'm keeping my eye out on all of these teams to see how they would make it into that into those landing locations, which means with playing paths like this, we're definitely going to be seeing a whole lot of hot drops coming in through from all these teams. So that being said, yep, I'm here for it, and we already see one getting started out there on that southern side of things, where we see the side there of Konina Power getting into trouble. I think in Los Leones area, maybe not the place I would have expected to see early engagements, especially given that, Los Leones is big enough to accommodate, about 3 to 4 teams. So, I would expect to see a little bit more sharing coming in through from all of these teams. I mean, we've got quite a lot of teams out here in Los Leones. It's actually not even funny. Like, there's a whole lot of teams out here in Los Leones. But man, while we talk about that one in San Martin, or sorry, make that in Picado, we do have the players there from Excuse Me getting started. With Team Kasik. They've not really had the best of games today. They did have one game where they fragged out, but ever since then, we've not really seen them do too well. Havlik already, for Excuse Me, able to get himself one elimination, and we already see Shockwave getting started with some elims on that northern edge of the circle. This time it's going to be Shockwave back in Hacienda del Patron. We did see them go out early in that first Miramar game of the day in Hacienda, but right now it does look like they may have been able to right their wrongs. Actually, they were the only ones that landed in Hacienda. Looks like they were pushing into the San Martin boys. It's going to be none other but Robs from Game Lord, as he's able to get one knock up onto the side there of Terminus. Oh my god, this is actually a bad push coming through from the side there of Shockwave. One player is already down. Make that 2 as Snowix will eventually bleed out. Rob's definitely aware of what he's doing. He might just be able to grab that thirst. He knows, letting those smokes fly. And this is wonderful play coming through from Robs, man. You can just see him repositioning, trying to get himself into wonderful positions onto the side there of Shockwave. Definitely hears Seek in the background, looking for more bullets. Goes in for the push. The pre-fire is wonderful. Goes in again with the pump shotgun, but will not be enough to take down the players there from Shockwave. But here comes the cavalry, here comes the support in the side of Victor and Akashi to come in for the support of the Century. But it's going to be Akashi being the first man to drop down. Victor is going to be the last player left up in a 1v2 situation, as we can just see him playing this very carefully, trying to see if he can get any of those knocks. But unfortunately, he has to go back, get a couple of HP back up. And when he does that, he definitely has to continue on the push. Game Lords, though, already losing players one after the other. I think the side of Shockwave able to grab at least one revive, but the Game Lords not quite getting this one quite correctly. Terminus is still very low on HP. He has to get revived, and the side there of Shockwave will be going for that revive. What seems to be like a bad push coming through from them might just play out well. As we see the revives coming in through Seek, though. Seiko still trying to hold that angle. Same thing can be said about Victor, as Victor makes his way to the top of the roof. He's able to get Seek down, and that is one player down for the side there of Shockwave. They're down to the final 2. Terminus, he's got a good angle. He might just be able to spot Victor. My man looking to grab his thirst, not quite able to get it. Shockwave still alive on this one. They're taking their time. I like it. Cannot complain. Victor does go for the jump down, gets one player, make that 2. He's up in a 1v1 right now, and Minus does not quite have enough HP. He might not just be able to hold it up. Victor has got more than enough HP to work. As we see Terminus just trying to see if he can grab a little bit of stray, finding any sort of things that could heal him up. He's got 5 bandages, but he's not using it. The auto shotgun in hand, or sorry, make that the pump action in hand. As Victor still looking to play this one very carefully. Shockwave sleeping on this one. Victor knows that revive definitely has to be coming up. As we can see him drawing in closer and closer. Here's it. And there, the revive does come through onto the side of Shockwave. But both players not quite having enough HP. But the auto shotgun in hand, it's an absolute threat onto Victor. He knows they're upstairs, looking for the angles. He might just find it. Minus. They hear him looting. Unfortunately, they just wouldn't be able to push up. Not so much HP. Both of them pushing with that combined HP. There is a possibility, there is a chance that Victor might actually wipe both of them, because those HPs, they're definitely not enough to hold up. And man, Shockwave, this is exactly where they're getting it wrong. They continue to push individually, right? Rather than pushing as a squad. You want to actually push as a squad, push up onto those teams, and try to, get the elims. You can't continue to sleep. And that's what they've done right now, you know. And we already see it not playing out too well for them. Victor takes in a couple of damage. And now there's no more first aids in hand. Goes for the pre-fires. Not quite able to get any. And now Shockwave decided to push now as a unit. Going in as a two-man squad. Coming in from both the same angle. One player not able to hold up against two. As Game Lords would eventually lose out on that fight. Team Kasik would eventually go out also in Picado, but not without taking 3 players there from Excuse Me alongside them. Yang is the last player left, and he holds his own quite nicely. 4 elims onto Excuse Me, but it came at a very huge cost. They lost 3 players too. That is going to be the fight in Picado done and dusted, but the fights are not done for him. We start to talk about the hot drops. The side there of Sly Machines still alive in Los Leones. They're surrounded by a couple of teams. It's going to be Konina Power being the imminent threat at the moment. Does look like they're out here chilling in the center in the quadrangle. Konina Power trying to hold it up. We've got Gaimin Gladiators out there somewhere in the background, looking to probably come in for the third party, but it doesn't look like they have much interest in that. We already do see the engagements coming in through. We already see some pre-fires coming in through. Pelucci is going to be one of the receiving end of those bullets, as the side there of Konina Power now find himself in a whole lot of trouble. I think that is Ubaldui getting pushed by the side of Sly Machines. They're applying the pressure, being so intense on that one. You see the push does come through, and they're pushing as a unit. What I love, grenades being sent out by Ubaldui, trying to see if he can hold on his own. Goldex out there with Team Excuse Me. As we can already see the push coming into Ubaldui, maybe to jump downstairs, waiting for that push to come in through. He sees the Sly Machines as now they're getting scattered. As Sly would lose 1 player. It's going to be 3-10. Going down now. Up in the 1v2 is going to be Ubaldui. We know that man is capable of doing it. As we see him taking a whole lot of shots towards the side there of Team Sly Machines. Konina Power coming in strong. As 1 more player would go down to Pelucci's grenade. Songori is here for the support. It's now 2 players left for the side of Sly Machines. He does get spotted. 1 player goes down to the 2 of Ubaldui. He's jumping downstairs, goes for the sweep, but he's not quite able to get any knocks down. But that's going to be the side there of Sly Machines getting sent back into the lobby. We did see Excuse Me in a whole lot of trouble, but it looks like they may have just settled that one. Don't see them anywhere on the boards. We did lose Sly Machine, leaving us with Sly Europe. The last players, or the last Sly team left in the lobby, taking a little bit of battering from the side there of Nexus. We've seen Nexus actually show us how good they can be, especially in the map of Miramar. Coming close to a winner chicken dinner in the first one. Does look like they are in for a whole lot of consistency. We'll start to look at their position out here in this second Miramar game of the day. Funny how I've not really seen any snipers in play, you know. Yes, A7 is not playing this match, Sebastian. Love it. You're communicating to me in English. Love it. But yeah, Alpha 7 is not going to be playing in this game. Same thing can be said about the side of Mad Bulls, as they will be sitting out of this next game of the day. I think the leaderboards after the last game is ready, and so we're going to load that one up. But unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see it because the action is imminent. These Miramar matches have been absolutely on fire today. To the side, actually let's show the zone. You know, that zone is a little bit on that eastern edge of the circle. As we do see a whole lot of play coming in through from these teams. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing so far. All the early actions in Miramar happening so quickly. We do see the Gaimin Gladiators finding their way into the center of the circle. Not too bad, not too shabby. Dagestan 77 still up on the top of the leaderboards, and we're about to probably see trouble, you know, loom in the center of that circle. You know, as we already start to see the players there from Gaimin Gladiator get closer to the circle. The side of Nexus also close to the center of the circle. Gaimin Gladiators would also be in that situation, and you know, even Sly EU are also in that mix. And you know, when you start to have a mix of teams like this, you know that there is a whole, we're in for treats. We know that we're in for all the action. But anyway, action happening on that northern edge of the circle, where we just see the side there of Team GP into a little bit of a rotational cluster against the side of ARR Esports. We do know ARR to be that team that really likes to rotate. But this time it does look like Beck is looking to take that fight against Evo Station. It's a wonderful grenade from Evo Station, but it's a little too far. GG Gaimin Gladiator in an engagement to the side there of Sly EU. But Evo Station looking to be on the chase up onto Beck. Not going to be able to find him, at least not just yet. But we're going to be pulling over quickly to the side there of Sly as they continue with the Gaimin Gladiators, who I think are eventually out. Gaimin Gladiators actually not yet. They've got 2 more players. They did go for the push onto the heels that were being held by the side there of Sly. But it doesn't look like they will be holding it up quite nicely. ARR also still in that engagement as they start to go out one after the other to the side there of Evo Station. Another player is down. Toffees though, he's getting pushed on the side too. And I think ARR are not going to go for that push anymore. Kitsune though, on the other hand, is able to find that knock up onto one of the side there of the Sly EU as Meku will be looking to get that revive up onto his teammates. This is wonderful to see. And you just love to see this play coming through from Kitsune. But now the third party is beginning to come through from the side of Nexus, as Mandarin is going to have to hold on his own against the side of Team Nexus, who are finding their way into the circle. Now this is a whole lot of trouble. Mandarin though spots Octavian, but not before Octavian is going to run him over. And Sly EU not quite being so strong in this one. The side of Gaimin Gladiator able to get themselves back up as a 3-man. The revive did come up onto their players. Looks like Tixie, the man who was absolutely going bonkers in the first Miramar match of the day, is going to be the first player who's out for the side there of Gaimin Gladiators this time. We do get yet another zone shift. And all of these players who were out there in the center of the circle now, they find themselves far off on that edge. They're now on the eastern edge. How long do they want to remain in this position is the question I've got in mind. As we do see the side of Gaimin Gladiators, they realize there's one too many teams there, and they're looking to head away from that vicinity. But it's frying pan to fire as the side of Konina Power, they've got eyes on them. But now we're going to be pulling over to the side of Team Codex, who find themselves taking a fight against the side there of Shockwave. 2 teams who have said they need a whole lot of eliminations going up against each other. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one is going to play out for them. As we see Team Codex now down to just the last player, who's going to be Folly, to hold down the fort for his team. Team GQ now, they continue up on that rotation up to the north. Shockwave able to get those elims. They don't look to be pressing on that one. Out on that northern edge of things, we still see Team Nexus going crazy, moving into that circle from that northeastern edge. They're still quiet though. Only 1 elimination so far. I wouldn't rush it. We've actually seen them do so well. So, you know, if they're not getting as much eliminations at this point of the map or at this point of the match, we know that they've got something cooking. Team GQ still alive on this one. I'm enjoying the consistency I'm seeing from Team GQ, especially in the map of Miramar. ARR losing that last player, Habiz, on rotation, and that's going to be a GG well played to them. Team Doom, we've seen them also play well on Miramar. So right now, we want to see if they would have a pop-off Miramar game once again. Guys there from Sly EU though, they did lose a whole lot of players. That zone does center up quite nicely. Team Gaimin Gladiator find himself in that center, or at least in the off center. And now they happen to be the one playing gatekeepers onto the side of Konina Power as they find a way to the circle. Major Prize still alive in this one. I'm looking forward to seeing what Major Pride is actually going to do in this game. We've not really seen them stand up and show us what they're made of today. So, you know, I'm keeping my eye out for them to see exactly what they've got in mind. But anyway, Gaimin Gladiators, though, they're getting pushed. They're down to the final 2-man. Meku putting in some shots towards Knights. Will not be able to get him down. But Matic now has to hold his own in a 1v2 situation. It's going to fall back to base. But grenades from Meku is wonderful, but the trade is being initiated now, slowing down the side there of Gaimin Gladiators. The question is, are Konina Power aware that the Gaimin Gladiators are just 2 players? The third party is imminent, or maybe not yet, But here comes the full send from the side of Konina Power. Pelucci has gathered as much information. He knows where Mercury is. Lets a couple of shots fly. Not quite able to get it. And I do not know why that man is not sending grenades instead. As Knight is going to grab the revive up onto his teammate. Songor pushing up closer and closer. That man looking to be the entry fragger for this fight. Mercury holding it up in a good position. As you see the pre-fires coming in from him. But here comes the cavalry for the side there of Team Konina Power. Cave is coming in. He's got the DBS in hand and he knows how to use it, as he will send the Gaimin Gladiator back into the lobby. 7 eliminations onto the side of Konina Power, and they're looking strong. Already off to a great start. We're down to the final 9 teams in the lobby. If you go out at this time, you still get 0 points from placements. So you know, like, you have to start racking up those elimination points. The muerte holding it up on that southern edge of the circle, looking strong too. Same thing can be said about Team GQ up on that north. For Major Pride, the DMRs, they're able to get some knocks. And I was just mentioning that I'm not seeing one too many snipers. But here comes the players actually out here holding up, showing me that they know how to use those snipers. Team Doom out there on the east, we're looking to have a whole lot of trouble on that eastern edge. 3 teams, Team GQ, Team Doom, and Konina Power, just looking to hold it up on that eastern edge of the circle as we begin to see those rotational clusters coming in through. Konina Power are the ones putting in a whole lot of shots, and Team Doom now, they're aware. And this is why I start to say Konina Power as a team, you need to play it a little bit carefully or quietly. You're not in the best of positions. You know, leaving that position that they find themselves in is definitely going to be a whole hassle. So I think the one thing they want to do is actually stay as quiet as possible, but it does look like that is not in their books, not an option for them. They're looking to take in a whole lot of shots. As we do see that zone continue to close down. Team Doom drawing closer and closer to the side of Team GQ. And we've seen Team Doom, they're one team that knows how to full send. We saw them full send onto the side there of, I believe it was Konina Power in the first game. They might just be looking to do the same, looking for that intro knock onto the side of GQ, but Evo Station will take down one of their players on the push. Another player finds himself low as Team Nexus are also putting a hand, helping out in this one. Corcadet stormed on, and down he will go as Phantom looking to hold on the fort for his team. Team Nexus very active on that third party. Goldie on the top of the hill, putting in the cover fire is wonderful as he gets Toffies down. One player left for the side there of Team GQ is going to be none other but AZ. A fragger of his own, letting some Molotovs fly, trying to block out the angles from the side there of Team Doom. But Team GQ now, not quite holding up so nicely on this one. Nexus holding it up on that third party of the century. It's wonderful grenades though. It's a very good grenade. But Team Doom though, Goldie is able to spot AZ through the window, gets a couple of shots to connect. The grenades are landing. And Team GQ holding up quite nicely out here, I have to say. Or maybe not, as they do get taken out. Team Doom winning that engagement. And I did say they are a team that knows how to full send. Already up by 5 eliminations. Team Nexus did come in for a little bit of a third party there. But unfortunately, they only lost 1 player, I believe. Well, actually, they didn't lose any player though. They did get knocked though. But they are by 6 eliminations to their name. Konina Power looking strong. 7 eliminations, but they've got only 2 players alive. And this was what I was saying about that position. Not being the best of positions. The side of Nexus and Team Doom, they will come to an agreement to, you know, rotate in opposite directions, and that is nice. You know, it's not treaty being signed, but it's just both teams just, you know, making their way. But it looks like Shockwave, they had no hands, nor did they have any weapons in that treaty. They will take down one of the players there from Team Doom, but the all-fan good is good from Team Doom to get down some of the players there from Team Shockwave. Another player will go down. Minus is the last player left, and he would go down to Team Doom. And they are holding so nicely. It is beautiful to watch Team Doom out here continue to rack up those elimination points. They're already racking up enough. And this is wonderful to see from Team Doom. But Team Nexus looking to be the pain for them. Major Pride also in a whole world of hurt right now. Spectre is the last player left to hold his own against the Muerte. Mans has to go for a revive up onto his teammate, and he will indeed get it. Monkey trying to gather and support, supply as much information as possible. But it does look like Major Pride would be losing 1 more player. Side of the Muerte though, down to just 2. It's going to be Maldi. As if Maldi is not even the last player left. I believe Maldi is the last player left as Discream is knocked. Nexus looking to get started with the side there of Team Doom on that northern edge. And it does look like one player is not going to be able to hold it enough. But we get to see more. Maldi does get the knock onto one of the players there from Major Pride. He's up in a 1v2 now. He's got the DBS in hand, letting the shots fly out. The DBS up against that Devil's Weapon, but he's getting third party. It's imminent, and he will eventually go down to Major Pride. But then Nexus, they continue on their Miramar prowess. They're down by 2 players, but they do not mind. Out there on the north, and they're putting in the work, doing as much damage on the lobby. And the question we pose to them, can they continue on that Miramar prowess? They've answered yes to it. Already up by 10 elims. And they're not looking to stop anytime soon. I don't know if my math is right. I think they're on 8 elims. Sorry, not 10. Team Codex, we've told them they know how to survive. And once again, they have made it into that top 4. This time with only 3 elims, courtesy of Folly. That man, he's got ideas. He knows exactly where everyone in the circle is. But this northern edge is going to be proving to be a trouble because all of these teams have to rotate into the circle and they're literally shooting practice for the side there of Major Pride, who's just waiting on the bottom of the hill, waiting for that push to just come through from either side, Team Codex or from Team Nexus. Even Konina Power still alive on this one. They're able to hold it up, but Team Nexus not looking to give up, putting in a whole lot of shots towards the side of Konina Power, and they know they're trying to focus on one of those teams, and that is indeed what they're doing. Shots going out in that direction. Eliminations already up to 9, and Octavian and the rest of Nexus have to find a way into that circle. Kapahala is going to be the first man in line, pushing up towards the side there of Konina Power. Sends out a grenade. It's a good one. Gets the bound, gets the land. Not quite able to get the damage done, but it's going to be about doing from the side to get the knock and the confirm onto the side there of Team Konina Power, Nexus Gaming. They're already up to 11 elims, down to the final 2 teams. It's a 3v3. Major Pride having a good position, having that good advantage as they get one player down from the side there of Team Nexus, as Nexus now down to Dorian, who looks to want to give his life to that blue zone, and that is indeed what he wants to do. Team Nexus once again coming in so close to a winner chicken dinner, but unfortunately not able to do it. They will go out once again, but this time with 11 eliminations to their name. And what a play from the side of Team Nexus. They've been consistent back to back, especially in this Miramar games, and they've continued to show us that they know what they're doing in this game. And these are one of those teams that, I was saying it, right, at the beginning, right? Like, there's teams that pick, favorite maps. Like, oh, Erangel is our favorite map. Miramar is our favorite map. Sanhok is our favorite map. This is what I was saying, like, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you're actually very good on every single one of those maps. And that is what the side there of Team Nexus are currently showing us today. That is wonderful gameplay, not going to lie. Major Pride, though, not sleeping too much on that first position that they got with 8 eliminations to go alongside it. Side there of Konina Power finishing in 3rd place with 7 elim. Konina Power, we've seen them rack up those eliminations, and this time they're able to complement it with some placement points to go alongside it. In Codex, showing us that placement points milking that they do once more, as they're able to make it to 4th place with 3 elims, quad-C of Folly PMGC. The Muerte in 5th place with 1. The side there of Team Doom in 5th place with 1 elim. The Muerte in 5th place with 1 elim. The side of Team Doom in 6th place with 7 elims. We did see Team Doom once again show us that they are a pain for many of those teams. They did prove to be a huge pain to the side of Nexus, but Nexus came out on top, sending them back into the lobby. Side of Unicorn of Love not quite able to show us that Miramar prowess that we've seen from them, as they're out there in 7th place with no elim. The side there of Shockwave in 8th place with 6 eliminations to their name. Good on the elims, but man, those placements maybe not the best. Team GQ out there in 9th position with 3 elims. The side there of Gaimin Gladiators in 10th place with 1. The side there of Sly Machines in 11th place with 1 elim. ARR Esport in 12th place with no elim. Sly EU in 13th place with 1. The side of Excuse Me in 14th place with 6 elims. The side of Kasik in 15th place with 3 elims. And Game Lord going out first in 16th place with 1 elimination to their name. That was absolutely wonderful for a Miramar game. And I did tell you the leaderboards are out, so let us go through the leaderboards and see what we've got going on. The leaderboards actually up to the third game. So the results from this game have not reflected in this leaderboard, at least not yet. But we do see Dagestan still maintaining that top position out there in first place. They did sit out of this last game, which is why we don't see them gathering as much points as possible, but still, we know that by the time they come back, they've got what it takes to continue to put up points up on the board. The Mad Bulls out there in second place with 27 points, Gaimin Gladiators in third with 23 points. This was not a good game for them, so it means they most likely will be going down further. Especially given the fact that Nexus Gaming are able to get that much points that they did in this next game. Major Pride, I called them out early on before this game. I said we're not really seeing them show us how well they can play, and they've eventually come to show us that they know what they're doing. With that winner chicken dinner, they're definitely going to get bumped up to the top of the leaderboard. Team Codex out there in 6th place. Like I said, they've been racking up those placement points. They've got 12, only 5 elimination points to go alongside it still. So like I said, the side there of Team Codex, you need to start getting those eliminations up on board. Unicorns of Love in 7th place. Game Lord in 8th, in 9th. Team Doom in 7th, in 10th. Konina Power 11th out of 7, slowly climbing up out there in 12th. They did sit out of this game, but we'll be seeing them come through for the final game of the day. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're bumping themselves up the top of the leaderboard. We do see the Muerte out here in 13th, Major Pride in 14th, Shockwave, Dark Project, ARR Esport, Kasik, and Sly Machine is not quite doing too well. So I'm looking forward to seeing them actually put up some more points up on the board, provided they're going to actually play this final game of the day. And that being said, we have one more game for today. It's going to be none other but Erangel to close things up. So that being said, do not go anywhere. Stay safe, stay connected. I'll be right back with more PUBG Mobile action brought to you by Lidoma Pubg Mobile. So that being said, stay tuned, stay connected. Drop a like of the stream. Drop a like on that stream if you've not, and I'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, and we are back for one more game. We are down for the final run of the first day of the semi-finals of the Lidoma Pubg Mobile Invitational Twist, brought to you by Lidoma.com. And I promise you, Lidoma has actually been doing quite alright. I mean, it's like the second tournament they're hosting in what, 2 weeks now, man. And I tell you, they actually put in the work. So be sure to give them a follow on all social media so you can stay up to date. And who knows, just maybe you might be eligible to play in their next tournament. So that being said, we're about to get into the fifth and final game of the day. But before we do so, we're going to be seeing where those teams stay on the leaderboards. We did see Major Pride though get that fourth winner chicken dinner of the day, and man, let us see exactly what that may have done to the leaderboards as they stand. Wait, do I have the updated leaderboards? Okay, that's not the updated leaderboards. I'm just gonna do that right now. But anyway, yeah, we did see the side there of Major Pride walk home without winner chicken dinner, and I'm pretty sure Dagestan now, who is coming back into the lobby. Matter of fact, you see that Dagestan still on the top of the leaderboard, 36 points going on to their name, and you can just tell that these guys, they've done it. They sat out from that last game, but still they were able to put in as much points up on board. That just goes to show that this team knows what they're doing, and now they're coming back into this game, and I'm pretty sure they're going to rack up some more points up on the board. So that's wonderful to see. We just see Major Pride bumping themselves up to third, all the way from 12th. You love to see that one. Mad Bulls in 4th, Team GQ in 5th place, Team Codex surprisingly up there in 7th. By the end of the day, man, top 9 qualifies, so I'm pretty much good with it. And I'm pretty sure, with that being said, many of these teams are going to want to make it into that top 9. And speaking of top 9, we're going to be seeing a couple of teams sitting out of this next game. We do have the last Erangel game where we're going to be seeing Group A sit out. In case you're wondering who's in Group A, we're going to be seeing the Game Lords, Konina Power, Team Codex, and Team GQ sitting out on this final game of the day, where we have Mad Bulls, Dagestan 7-7, Alpha 7, and Dark Projects coming back into the game. So that being said, let's get into it. The final Erangel game of the day. Be sure to stay with me at the end of the game, because after this game there would be the overall leaderboards after today's games being shown up on board. So do not go anywhere, and I'll be here once the game ends. But without further ado, let's get into that first game of the day, as that playing path I hear is actually not the nicest. Yep. And there we go. Welcome back to Erangel in the Lidoma Pubg Mobile Invitational Twist. This is the Europe region, where we can already see all of these teams jumping out of the plane. It looks like Shockwave would have a little bit of a wave of shock out there in Severny, as they do have friends and neighbors landing out there with them. And that's definitely not what they want. They've had to fight. Oh, no. They've had to fight against each other in the first couple of games today. So that being said, I'm pretty sure they do not want to continue having all of that fights going into this final game of the day. So that being said, Shockwave, do not get into all of that trouble. We'd already see them getting that intro knock to get things started. Oh my god. As we already see them getting things started out here in the Severny area. I'm trying to fix up the little lag that I'm experiencing due to network. I really do not know why my network starts to lag, but man, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Hopefully this works. But anyway, we do see the side of Shockwave losing one more player. We're going to focus on the game so far and hope that my network does clear itself out. Snowwix goes in the FPP mode. He's going to go down with Siko being the last player left. He's only got a shotgun, make that a pistol in hand. And the Unicorns of Love, they're looking to come in throughout this fight, and they would eventually sweep and take out the whole of the Shockwave teams. And well, I guess that is going to be a GG, well played to them. Unfortunately, they will be getting sent back into the lobby. I kind of feel bad for them, because that is not how they would have wanted this to go. Oh my god, what could be taking up my network? Trying to close any application that could use up my network, because I do not get it. Network lag, not the best. Always happens in game 4 or game 5. Like, bruh, we're having a good day. We're almost closing up the day. Just behave, you know. Just behave. And I think this is my network provider, you know, because my ping is worse than it normally would be. Back in school, we still have Major Pride going up against Dagestan once more. We'll be pulling over to that fight. Alrighty. And it does look like Alpha 7 would also have a little bit of company out there on that north. Or yeah, is it Alpha 7? Yes, it's Alpha 7. Having a little bit of company out there in North Chojopo. It's gonna be none of that but Gaimin Gladiators out there close to them. And we do see them getting in closer and closer. McHugh in the vicinity, in the region. I already see some knocks coming in through. It's going to be Mate getting knocked first by the side there of Alpha 7. These guys are friends, and these guys are this is not the first time that they're taking this fight against each other. So one knock already coming through from the side there of from Alpha 7. Carillo does look to be on the chase up against Senna, or make that Meku, who's running for his life, very low on HP. You see the pre-fires coming in through as the full set is also coming through. But Team Gaimin Gladiators, they would lose one more. This is definitely not what they need heading into today's games. And the side there of Alpha 7 pushing up the top of the stairs. They're able to get one more player down. It's going to be Meku going down, and Alpha 7 continue to wreak havoc onto the side of Gaimin Gladiators, as Gaimin Gladiators now reduced to just the one player in the side there of Tixi, or sorry, make that Kitsune, the IGL, I believe, to hold it up for that team. And it's kind of funny to see the side of Gaimin Gladiators here, but yeah, that play path wasn't the best to even start, so it's maybe not too surprising to see them there. Major Pride though, still losing this fight in the school area once more to the side of Dagestan 7-7. Dagestan proving just to be too wonderful. Monkey very low on HP for the Major Pride. He's the last player left. They did get one elimination onto the side of Dagestan 7-7. It's going to be Zadira, their senior fragger. But it does look like the entire team not overly happy with how this is turning out. Still continue up on the push. Shifu getting ready. Mad Bulls in the background. The Majors coming for the third party this time. Maybe not too interested, as the revive will come through onto the side there of Major Pride. Does look like Shifu out here in the vicinity. Pushing up close. It's going to be the first in line. Looking to gather a little bit of information as the rest of his team does form up. Limbo Boom still outside, looking to keep an overwatch, keeping an eye, close eye on the team there. Gaimin Gladiator able to have one player escape from this part. Looks like my network issues have been fixed, thankfully. But one thing that is not fixed right now is who is the real owners of school. We did see Dagestan 7-7 win that engagement in the first or in the second Erangel game, and now this is the final Erangel game. Will they win it again, or would the would the Major Pride boys do it this time? They do look to be holding the dirty angles. Angles very, very dirty indeed. As we wait for that push to coming through from the side there of Dagestan. Man, and this is what we start to talk about, like apartments being a very tricky place, right? You know, it's a very tricky place to push. You do not just want to push in anyhow. Spectre looking for those angles. He does run out. Maybe not what he wants to do. Puts in a shot. I think he did get a little bit of a damage done there. Dagestan, it does look like they're slowing down their push this time, but man, maybe not, as they go on with the full set. Monkey's able to get one player down in keep. Shifu's got a grenade prepped up, but he's not able to quite throw it out. The thirst is going to come through, and Shifu is going to be like, you're not going to thirst my player, and I'm not going to thirst yours. But Dagestan not quite getting this quite right. Losing one more player, another player very low on HP. Monkey though does get grenaded, but he's able to make it out of that building right in time. The chase is on, he's back in. Limbo Boom very low on HP. He's only got a pistol in hand. Monkey, maybe not the best of loadouts. So you see him trying to get loaded or trying to get reload up on that pump action. They hear him. The grenades are landing towards his position, But that man running low on HP as time is going. The off angle is sexy coming through from Shifu as he would eventually get that player back into the lobby. A little bit of BM coming in through too, as Dagestan 77 would win the fight out there in the school area once again. But this time, suffering a huge loss of 2 players. Not the best of ways to win that hot drop fight. We do see the guys there from Sly Machine finding a way into the circle. It's going to be Reflect, Mandari, Zashipa, and Tenchik. Man, y'all are going to confuse me. I feel like these names are spelled backwards, right? How do they call the words? But I forget. But it almost feels like they're spelled backwards. But I'm not even going to attempt trying to spell it backwards. Uh-oh, speaking of backwards, it's going to be Kasik. Losing 1 player, finding himself on the back end. As Tenchik is able to get 1 player now. And Sly Machines looking to get into a good start. Getting those eliminations. Team Kasik doesn't look like they're too happy about that one. Pulling up to the vicinity, to the area. Man's exerting his revenge on the buggy tires. How cute. Right, Unicorn. Not happy about that one. He's going to pop a buggy tire in tributes to his teammate who is just lost striker. See Mad Bull's also making it into the vicinity. Going to be chilling out there on Headshot Hills. There's an airdrop in the area with the AMR in it. We've not really seen many of these players hold on with the bolt actions today. So I'm not really expecting to see any of these guys snipe. Even though the AMR is in the airdrop. Sad, but I guess that's just what they're about in the region. I mean, we're slowly seeing snipers go out of place these days, you know. Not many players using the snipers, and nah, bro, I really enjoy to see the snipers rather than the DMRs and, you know, the SMGs and the ARs all the time. But anyway, we do see that zone looking a little bit tricky. We've seen tricky zones all Erangel games long. What is going on? We've seen tricky games. We've seen tricky games all Erangel, tricky zones all Erangel long. So man, I'm not too. I wouldn't even jump to pick the southern edge of the circle. Nor would I jump to quickly pick the northern side of the circle too. So. But anyway, we do see that zone getting smaller and smaller as we're about to get yet one more zone shift, or another zone shift. Out there on Potato Hill, we still have the side there of the Muerte, looking to get closer and personal with the side there of Nexus. Milky Way finds himself very close, but it looks like they would settle that fight by leaving there. Oh my god, what is going on? Anyway, the zone does go up to the north. It does look like it to be on the north this time. Alpha 7 deciding not to go for that southern shift that they wanted to go for. Unicorns of Love, though, run into that same skirmish that they did in the other Erangel game. This time, they look to be taking it head-on against the side there of Dark. Oh, Dark Project. Suave is going to run into that nade, but he's going to take the thrower down. Michi and Noshi will be the last player left. Michi in the vicinity, looking to push up close before that thirst does come through. Palette. Is that Palette? It's Palette. Anyway, it's a Lotus grenade to force Palette out. Or Plate out. Actually, make that late. Latte! Damn it! I keep forgetting smooth like latte. But anyway, it's going to be that smooth. He does seem to be holding it up. Unicorns of Love will lose one more. That project looking to hold it up as Noshi gets one more knock. He's up in a 1v2 situation now. Not so much HP in the bank. As the full send is going to come in through the side there of the Dark Project. They know exactly what they're doing. They're pushing up onto him. Chasing him down. Looking for that last player. But Unicorns of Love, Noshi is able to run. He's able to run away from this fight. But how far can he run for? How long can he actually run for? That is the question we've got in mind. Trying to see if he can get his HP back up. But his teammates, he's going to suffer. He's going to suffer the loss of his teammate here. He's going to have to hold it up on the top of the roof. Up in a 1v4 situation now, I believe. Full send is going to come through. The Unicorns of Love, they do have 4 elims to their name. But still doesn't mean they should go out this early in the game. The jump down does come through. But no, she slips on it. Doesn't quite get the knockdown. And Latte is going to be smooth with it as he takes out the Unicorns of Love in 13th place. Dark Project looking to stay alive. Is it Dark Project? I'm pretty sure it's Dark Project. Yes, it is Dark Project. But anyway, the Muerte finding a way into the circle. They do look to be running into a little bit of a rotational cluster with the side there of Team Doom. So y'all are pissed because they got wipes. No way. Anyway, we do see Demorete though going for that rotation up on that northeastern edge of the circle. This is one of those tricky circles or tricky zones where we do not know if the zone is going to that southern edge or if it's going to the northern edge, and it's very, very tricky, I promise you. And that's why we can see some of those teams staying very close to the bridge. I'm talking about the likes of Alpha 7, you know, staying close to that bridge. The likes of ARR also being close to the bridge. Same thing can be said about Mad Bulls and Sly EU. They all stay beside that bridge because they know that, you know, that zone could actually go up to the north or it could also go down to the south, and they're trying not to make any move, at least quite early on in the game. Team Doom, we've seen them show a whole lot of prowess when we talk about that Miramar game. Heading into this Sanhok, would they be able to continue up on that consistency? Currently see them seated at 9th position on that board, on the edge, you know, top 9. From after tomorrow's games, I believe. Yeah, after tomorrow's games, we'll make it into the finals. It's a one-day finals too, so you want to be sure that you're ready. That one-day finals cannot be the day you're having an off day. And Octavian is gonna find Kraken. Gonna shut off his lights too, as it does look like he's not gonna get revived. That is very sad. But Nexus already looking to get started. 1 elimination extra as they're now up by 2. Team Doom. This is a very, very complicated position to hold. When we start to look at that northern edge, Team Doom though having some players up on the north, preventing that push coming through from the side of Team Nexus. Nexus revving the engine, getting prepared, getting ready. Kapahala though, he doesn't mind. He's sending it through. There's some shots coming in through. Mugelinho is going to lose a whole lot of HP on that jump. And here comes Kapahala for the push. Same thing can be said about Kimi as he finds a way through. But Molotov's by the stairs. He's going to buy Mugelinho some time. Kapahala though just send a grenade. He's going to make that 1-2 now. Up onto that position. Hoping that player is going to go down to at least 1 as he does jump down, trying to see if he can hold it up. He goes against Kimi, but the cover fire is wonderful for the side of Team Doom, but Kapahala is there to return the favor. Kimi is very low. He's down 2. As Phantom now looking to be one of the last players left for the squad, at least on the top of the hill, is getting heavily battered by bullets. And you've just got to admire that cover fire coming through from the side there of Team Nexus as they would get that revive up onto one of their players. Goldie looking to get away from the vicinity, looking for an off angle onto the side there of Team Nexus. Would be able to spot Kapahala in the distance, takes in a little bit of shots, not going to be able to get Eddie to connect. As Mujeklino does get pushed up on the top of the hill. Team Nexus looking to win this fight in flying colors as they send Goldie running away from this engagement. But Octavian though, it doesn't seem to want to let that player go, letting the shots fly. It's down to his leader of HP, Goldie. He jumps out of the vehicle but will eventually get taken out, and that will be a GG well played as Nexus increase that elimination count to 5. The zone does push a little bit to that southern edge, and we see troubles on the bottom of Mount Everest around South Jojopo, where we see the side there of Sly Machines going up against the side of Excuse Me. We've seen Excuse Me take a whole lot of eliminations today, as they sit up, I believe, in 9th position, or sorry, 8th position. Right? Are they the one? No, they're not, actually. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, actually in 10th position, pardon me. See them do hold it up. They're out here in the Jojopo crates. Tricky position to play, if you ask me. They do have a couple of teams around them. There's the two Sly teams are here. Mad Bull somewhere in the background, Excuse Me. Furia trying to see if he can lay out some grenades to buy himself a little bit of time. We've got ARR Esports also in the vicinity. And this zone has still not picked a side. So it's still very tricky as to what side of the circle we're going to have, you know, in that zone. Dagestan down to the last player, maybe the last 2, finding their way into the circle from that southern edge. Still a whole lot of trouble out there on the southern edge of the Jojopo creates. Havlik finds himself in a whole lot of danger. You can hear the footsteps around him. As we see the Sly machines drawing ever so closely, we might just see a Sly fight off. As Sly machines and Sly EU find themselves in the same situation, in the same vicinity. ARR Esport's also around there in the background. Havlik finds himself very close to 310. Excuse me though. Still looking for those dirty angles. Not quite able to find it. We see Furia on the top of the hill. As teams start to find their way close to Jojopo area, but out there on the north, we do seem to have a little bit of trouble looming with his players there from Team Nexus, looking to find some of those players there from the Muerte on their rotation. Happy J taking the huge damage from that fight. Dorin has to play cover fire for his team, but he would eventually get felled as the Muerte not looking to have it. Happy J putting in some shots, not quite able to get the thirst as Kimi looking for that angle, not quite able to get it, but here comes the push. Discream sending it straight into that position. Kimi trying to uproot him. He's not going to succeed in that one. DBS and auto shot in hand will be taking that player down as Nexus Gaming currently being shot. Currently being quieted by the side of the Muerte on that northern edge, on that rotation. The Muerte are going to favor the zone for a while. But they're going to go for that zone for a while. On the side there of Nexus Gaming, not quite having it, taking a couple of shots towards their position, trying to obstruct that rotation. Mokapahala feeling the rot, feeling the bullets coming through from the Muerte, and he would eventually get felled by it. And Octavian, the last player left with a slither of HP, would not be able to hold up against that full squad of the Muerte as they increase their elimination to 4. Chilling on that northern edge, we did see a eastern zone shift. Definitely not nice. Alpha 7 looking to find a way into the circle. Dagestan have one player in, and all the players out there in South Jojopo looking to get up close and personal. As excuse me, get that intro now. Come to the side there of Sly Machine. Havlik finds himself very close to 3-team. It's a beautiful grenade. Oh, and beautiful Molotov to follow through too from Havlik. Yang is going to be the one to go down. Eventually get thirsted. Excuse me, looking to go for that full set. ARR, they hear the shots, but they're not coming in for the third party. Same thing can be said about the Sly EU. Sly Machine is able to grab their revives back up. Excuse me, they lose one player in all of that engagement. Out here in the Jojopo crates, more grenades landing closer and closer. All teams do not find themselves in that next zone. They have to get out of here. Sly EU, they're looking to keep their eye out on this position. Havlik trying to see if he can prevent or avoid those nades as much as possible. Shots are going to come out as Reflect is going to get spotted by 310. Sashipa, the last player left for the Sly Machines, to hold up for them. Sly EU looking to get closer and closer to the side there of Havlik, who's just trying to get away from here. Excuse me. Looking for those angle. Black here's the vehicles. And if I were to be the side of, excuse me, if I hear vehicles leaving the vicinity, man, I'm going to allow them. Like, bro, get out of here. We do see Mad Bulls though holding up in the apartment buildings, or sorry, in the I like to call it the Jojopo recall, but it's the squad house just outside of Jojopo. Looking to hold on to their own. Havlik looking to push the fight towards the side there of Sly Machines. It's a beautiful Molotov being sent, but Sashipa gonna jump right over it. But the third party from the Mad Bulls is beautiful. Havlik trying to see if he can uproot one. It's good for one player there from Sly EU. He's able to get one player down, but he's taking some shots himself. Has to run back into cover as he's getting pushed now by Sashipa. Here's that player now on that push. The players there from excuse me is still out there in a whole lot of fight as Black 4 has to push up. He's going on there with Furia, going in for that full send up onto 3-team. They would get him down. And the side there of Sly EU capitalizing on that zone, but unfortunately they will lose 2 in the process. Havlik though still finds himself in a whole lot of danger as he would get dropped down by the side there of Sly Machines. Reflect does look to push him through. The third party from the Mad Bulls definitely playing a very huge role in this fight as more grenades being sent out. Sashipa now going in for the push as Furia does get dropped. The third party not going to be stopping the side there of Sly Machines in their engagement. As excuse me now, finally down to the last player. Havlik definitely supplying that information, and it's going to work so nicely for his teammate Black. Gets another player down. Reflex is the last player left now for the Sly Machines. And all the teams that found themselves in South Jojopo find themselves in a whole lot of danger. And getting out of South Jojopo happens to be yet another problem. Alpha 7 still out there on the northern edge, still yet to make that crossing. Out there on Mount Everest, we do have ARR, make that the Dark Project going up against Team Kasik. One player down for Team Kasik as they're down to 1. Excuse me, lose their last player. Unicorn's gonna get a knock up onto one of the players there from Dark Project, as Madness would be the last player left for his team. Team Kasik able to grab that revive up onto all their players. Unicorn's got the Devil's Weapon in hand. 53 bullets locked and loaded in the clip. We know how crazy this weapon is. You just see him scouting, looking for it. Sly Machines, or Sly EU, find himself in a tough spot. Players there from the top of the hill might just be able to spot them and take them back into the lobby. It's only a matter of time. The long range scopes will be doing it, and these are situations where you need those DMRs, you know, fix up that 8x scope on it, and you are definitely seeing everybody in the lobby. That's what we're looking forward to seeing. But in Kasik, they have to find a way into the circle. We're down to the final 8 teams. Mad Bulls now start their trouble for eliminations as they play gatekeeper for everybody in Jojopo. Alpha 7 now looking for a way onto the other side of the hill. ARR, I say they're a team that likes to rotate, and they're still rotating, but Alpha 7 will make their way up onto the mainland. But now they get spotted by the side of Sly EU. Mafioso is going to be the last player left, as they're not able to quite get that rotation right in the back. They would eventually get taken out, and that is going to be a GG. Well played onto the side there of Alpha 7 as they get taken out. But Mad Bulls now getting pushed on by the side of ARR. Flyke trying to see if he can hold it up, as Zerich is going to be the first player down. He does get revived, and Tulika is going to be going in straight. We've seen that man frag out. We know that man is good at the entry knocks. Gets a couple of shots to connect, but Flyke's grenade would be the one to send back ARR into the lobby. We're down to the final 4 teams as Mad Bulls looking to get a second winner chicken dinner of the day. But in Kasik also still looking strong on the top of Mount Everest, or on the outskirts of Mount Everest, whichever, but they're still looking strong. Dagestan, they've got that one player who can play spoiler on anybody in the lobby. Mad Bulls looking to get into better positioning as Team Kasik have to get into the circle. That circle does push down to the south. Mad Bulls still find themselves in a very great position, and they seem to be the only team that has as much cover. Sly EU also have to find a way into that circle, and Team Kasik looking to find himself good spots in the circle. But man, no spots is really good in this circle. Everywhere is choked up. But the Mad Bulls, they've got eyes on pretty much everybody in that game, or in this game. 3 points. Might want to blow up that buggy. Not too much use for it. It's already smoking up. Looking to get a wide split on that circle, but it's going to be a whole lot of stress though. We do see the Mad Bulls though taking some shots towards Shifu as he makes it into the circle. But Shifu though running and gunning is good for 1. Lets a grenade fly up to the roof as he has to continue on the push, but he's going to get taken out from the side by Flyke, and that's going to be a GG's for him. But Flyke now sees the players there from Sly EU. He's going to start to tap away to the bottom of that vehicle. They do not have the circle. They have to move, and Flyke is aware of that one. Smoke grenades is all they have to work. Sees them through the smoke, takes in some shots. Team Kasik also spots them as they make their entry into the circle. And Mad Bulls looking to steal those eliminations, but they're not quite able to find it. Klozik holding it up in that smoke, because that's the only thing that is acting as a piece of cover for him, as Team Kasik looking to get rid of that side before they start to focus on the players there from Mad Bulls. But Mad Bulls will take out that last player there from Sly EU, and now it's the ultimate 4v2, or make that 4v3. Mad Bulls though, they do not have the circle, which means Kasik are the advantage here. Maybe not too much of an advantage, as they do lose one player. Zerich finds a way to the circle. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to stop, or he's not going to be able to be stopped, as he eventually makes it into the circle. He's got that good angle. And Unicorn finds himself in a whole world of hurt. 3 points, trying to see if he can cover his teammate as much as possible. But there's only so much he can see from this position in which he finds himself. Mad Bulls continue to make their way into the circle. Unicorn sees Frozen making it into the circle. Takes a couple of shots, will not get it to connect. And I think that just spells the end Once that player is able to find that angle frozen, it's going to spell danger, and indeed it does, as one more player goes down for Team Kasik. Mad Bulls already up to 10 elims, and this is looking like a chicken with 13 elims to their name. As frozen though, spots 3 points, lets him only fly towards his direction, shots into the smoke. He's going to be excellent to connect, and Mad Bulls would get the second winner chicken dinner of the day, clearing this one up this time with 13 eliminations to their name. Love to see it, man. Do not play with that guy. Do not play with this team. They are on fire, and the Mad Bulls have come in today. They got a 15 elimination winner chicken dinner earlier, and now they've been able to close the day with a chicken dinner with 13 elims. And that just goes to show you that when it comes to racking up those elimination points, the Mad Bulls, they are not shy in any manner. I love to see that one. Team Kasik in second place with 4 elims, not as much elims as they would need, but it still works. 4 eliminations and second place, nothing that I'm going to complain about. Third place is going to be none other but Sly EU, as they finish with 3 elims, not too good. Dagestan finishing in 4th place with 4 elims. ARR Esport in 5th place with 0 eliminations. The side there of Dark Projects finishing in 6th place with 3 eliminations. Alpha 7 in 7th place with 3. Matter of fact, Alpha 7, I'm very surprised. I would have actually thought Alpha 7 would make it into that circle quite alright, and I'm saying that because heading into like the 6th phase, Alpha 7, they were still up as a full squad, right? So like I would have expected that they would have made use of that, but they decided to cross that bridge a little too late, which eventually played to their downfall, and they would eventually get taken out, as trying to blindly send it or rotate into that circle at such late phase in the circle doesn't really work. But anyway, that was a GG well played to Alpha 7. The Sly Machines finishing out there in 8th place with 5 elims, in 9th place with 3 elims. The Muerte in 10th place with 4 eliminations. Team Nexus in 11th place with 6 eliminations. I've got to point this out about Team Nexus Gaming. Every single game they seem to get enough elims. Now with this elimination points, they get just as many points as finishing in 2nd place with 0 eliminations, and that just goes to show that this will continue to boost their points up, or boost themselves on the top of that leaderboard going into the final game of the day. Same thing I'm saying about Dagestan, but Dagestan did not really get as much eliminations as they would have needed to stay on the top of the leaderboard, but I believe they will still be somewhere up in that top 3. Doom going out in 12th position with no elimination to their name. It does look like Miramar might be the only map where they're able to get the eliminations, but you did not hear that from my mouth. Unicorns of Love out there in 13th place with 4 elims. The side there of Major Pride in 14th place with 2 eliminations. The side there of Gaimin Gladiators, we did see them win a chicken dinner in Miramar, but ever since then we've not really seen them show us how well they could play. They do go out there in 15th place with 0 elim, going courtesy of that early engagement with the side there of Alpha 7 early on in the game, and the side there of Shockwave getting shocked out there by the side there of Unicorns of Love when they landed out there in Severnia. And once again, another wonderful gameplay, or another wonderful game that we have seen. Erangel and Pubg Mobile in general will just not cease to surprise us. It's such an entertaining game, and we've had such an entertaining day of games today. Having chicken dinner spread across the board. Mad Bulls being the only teams who are able to put in 2 winner chicken dinners in one day, which is commendable to say the least. And I believe with this winner chicken dinner, they should find themselves on the top of the leaderboards, which will be ready, like I said, in a matter of minutes. So be sure to just listen to me ramble on and on and on, and would have the leaderboard eventually. But that being said, we've seen wonderful gameplay coming in today with all of these teams coming in through. They will be coming in tomorrow once more to come and show us exactly what they are made of. We'll be having yet another set of same teams, but a different spread across how they're going to play. This was beautiful to see, to say the least, and this was enjoyable. Mad Bulls, we're gonna have to load them up one more time, as we did see them get that without chicken dinner for the second time. And man, you just love to see it coming through from the Mad Bulls. getting that fourth winner chicken dinner to their name is definitely the fifth and final game to their name. It was wonderful to see, and man, I'm giving them the accolades because they really deserve it. They got the winner chicken dinner with the most eliminations, and now they were the only team that got 2 winner chicken dinner. But there we have it. That's going to be the first day done and dusted with the side there of Dagestan 77 picking up a winner chicken dinner to get us started. We saw the side there of Gaimin Gladiators get the second game, winning that game in style. We saw the side there of Mad Bulls coming to win that first winner chicken dinner over there on the third Erangel map of the day. We saw them go crazy. Major Pride in the fourth game did take up that winner chicken dinner up against Nexus Gaming, who I really have to speak about. Nexus Gaming, they actually did show us a whole lot of consistency today, but unfortunately they were not quite able to just get themselves a winner chicken dinner. But still, they will still find themselves on the top of the leaderboards. Remember, like I said, the top 9 teams would be making it into the finals of the PUBG Mobile Invitational Twist, which means no time to sleep. After today's games, there's still one more day of games, 5 more games to go for every single one of these teams, or not, maybe not for every single one of them, but 5 more games to play, 1 more day of games to determine who those top 9 teams that would represent the EU region in the PUBG Mobile Invitational Twist, to determine who those teams are going to be. So that being said, I look forward to seeing how these teams are going to play tomorrow. It's going to be the same time that we'll be here. I'm waiting for that leaderboard because that leaderboard is going to be out real soon. But man, we have seen so much commendable plays coming in today. Let me know in the chat what was your favorite moment of the game. And I think my favorite moments from today's game, or from the games, I think it would be in that first Erangel of the day where we saw Major Pride, I believe. Was it Major Pride? Yeah, Major Pride actually going up against the side there of Shockwave, and that Dagestan winner chicken dinner, that was absolutely beautiful. That was the chicken dinner where they applied so much awareness, played it to the paper, and they were able to get that winner chicken dinner. But man, when we start to talk about play, we saw what the players there from Major Pride were trying to pull off out there on the shorelines. We saw them holding those grenades, jumping into the water and sending those grenades out in the effort to actually take out some of the players there from the from Shockwave. But unfortunately, it did not quite work out for them. But still, it was still a good play, and I really enjoyed seeing it, which is why I'm commending it this much. So that being said, I look forward to seeing more beautiful plays like this come through tomorrow. So that being said, I think I may send you guys to a break and then come back to analyze the rest, because it's been a long day of talking. I feel like after this game, I'm most likely just going to be doing sign languages from here on out, because we've had a whole lot of fun going in through today. But anyway, I'm going to be speaking about the teams that I've not really seen play today, and I think I'll start things off with the muerte. DMR, the team that I called before the game started today, because I know them to be that team that is very strong when we start to talk about eliminations. But today, we've not really seen the muerte show us what they're made of. I mean, they did show us a little bit of craziness in that final game where we saw them go up against Nexus Gaming on the northern edge. That was a very good play coming through from them, and I enjoyed seeing that one. But still, we still need them to continue to put those points up on the board, because man, if we're gonna have 9 teams to represent only the EU region, we're gonna need the best of the best to go up into that final. So that being said, we need these teams to give it their all, show us exactly what they're made of. Because I mean, with all of this, the PMPL is down to is already getting closer and closer. So all of these teams, you need to start getting familiarized with yourself, right? And man, and speaking of familiarity, is where I'm gonna talk about Alpha 7. We do see them sitting on 15th place before that final game of the day. But I'm not going to blame them too much, because first off, this is not their region, and one thing I know about Alpha 7 is that by tomorrow, I believe that they will be I believe that by tomorrow they would actually come through and show us exactly what they're made of. And in case you're wondering, what does it mean tomorrow? Yes, these teams still get to go at it tomorrow, because tomorrow is when we're actually going to decide who who those 9 teams that will be making it into the lobby, or sorry, that will be making it into the finals of this tournament. That is when we're going to determine who those 9 teams will be. So that being said, let us go and see what that leaderboard looks like going in from the end of the day. As we do see the Mad Bulls, like I said, that winner chicken dinner will definitely bump them to the top of the leaderboard, and indeed it has, as we see them sitting in first position with 50 points to their name, 30 coming all the way from eliminations and 20 from placement. And that just goes to show that they only got their placement points from the winner chicken dinner. Every other game that they played, they did not get as much placement, and that's what I'm saying. Mad Bulls, they only showed up in Erangel, which in a way is good, because Erangel, we play Erangel the most in the tournament, but still they need to be able to put up some points when we start to look at Miramar. So the Mad Bulls, I'm calling you out on your Miramar performance, and I hope to see better Miramar performance from you guys going into tomorrow. Dagestan still able to hold it up in second position with 44 points, only 6 points behind the side there of Mad Bulls, 28 coming through from elims and 16 just from placement points. I love to see that. On Nexus Gaming, we did say they were absolutely on fire going into this last game, going into the last few games of today, and we see them racking up 31 eliminations, the highest in the lobby at the moment, only 11 from placement points, and that just goes to show you just how well this team has been fragging out today. 42 points overall, and look at that gap that they're giving Major Pride, who is out there in 4th position, who got one winner chicken dinner. Team GQ, a team that I said last time I saw Team GQ play, they did show us how well they could play, but they were not able to keep the consistency. And today, they're able to kind of keep that consistency, able to stay in that top 5. But I'm looking forward to see them play better tomorrow, because only the top 9 teams will be making it into the final. So that being said, tomorrow, Team GQ, you need to come and show what you've got. Gaimin Gladiator, courtesy of that winner chicken dinner, are able to still stay in that top 6, with Team Codex following just right behind them in 7th place. Team Codex, they've been actually taking a whole lot of placement points going into today, right? I think they're the team with the second highest placement points, other than Mad Bulls. And Team Codex, we want to actually see you guys get some of those eliminations. Only 8 elims on this first page. Matter of fact, in the top 13, they are the odd one out without double digits elims, but they still find themselves in that top 7. So yeah, the placement points do work, but I tell you, by tomorrow, placement points may not be keeping you this high up on the leaderboard anymore. Some Excuse Me following just right behind. They've been close. I said they were Codex and Excuse Me before, but right now it looks like Codex, Excuse Me, they're still looking to stay together, as Excuse Me is following them closely in 8th, the exact opposite of Codex. Codex has more placement points than elims. Excuse Me has more elims than placement points, so they really want to work on that. Team Doom in 9th, Konina Power just at the edge. I believe it is placements before elims, which is why Doom is on top of Konina Power. But Konina Power, if this were to be the last game, that would have been the GG's. Unicorns of Love just 1 point behind that threshold. So we need you guys to start doing well. Unicorns of Love out there in 11th. The Muerte in 12th. Game Lord in 13th. Kasik in 14th. Shockwave 15th. Alpha 7 dropping down once more to 16th. Dark Project in 17th. Sly Machine and Sly Europe not quite doing too well. And even despite seeing the Sly Machine do well in this last game, it did not quite bump them up to the top of the leaderboard as much as they would have wanted. ARR Esport, I did say they have more placements than they have elims. They only have 2 eliminations, and that's where it starts to become bad, especially when we start to look at these teams that find themselves on that bottom 3. If you're playing 5 games and you're only going to get less than 10 elims, there is something wrong. You're not even averaging 2.2 elims per game, so you want to make sure you're putting those points up on the board. ARR, they focus so much today on eliminations, on rotations. They just kept on rotating and rotating. Find out may have gotten you guys a little, and it only got them a little bit of placement. I mentioned that in the beginning of the day, that do not let the fact that you're trying to get placement points affect your elims, and vice versa. But then we saw this idea of ARR trying to rotate most of the times, which did not even get them the placement points that they may have wanted. So going into tomorrow, I want to see better plays coming through from all of these teams in the lobby. But that being said, thank you all for tuning in. We're going to be right back tomorrow, same time, same place, to give you a little bit, in fact, maybe not same face, but rumor has it, and I might actually be here with somebody else. So that being said, keep your eye out on social media to know who that second somebody is going to be. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be all from me today. Thank you all for tuning in. The support in the chat was absolutely wonderful. Be sure to drop a like on the stream and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you've not. But you know how I say it. Until next time, stay safe, stay connected, practice social distancing, and you know the vibes. Do not hack the game. It's your boy Crowns, and I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Be sure to have a good night.